Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 20, Round 13 of the Championship, the Hungarian Grand Prix, here at the wonderful Hungary. Start the second half of the season. I'm your host, Zach RC. Alongside me, as always, is Ben, who returns after his excursions last week. Ben, I mean, if you want to, feel free to let everyone know as to what happened to you last week. But obviously, if you don't want to, that's fine either way. But we should be in for a good race.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Is that, to be fair, Hungary normally delivers in the RDL. So I had a fight with the road and lost.
Okay, well, I
But
think
I hit it.
yeah. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, should we leave it at that? Or, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about something a bit more enjoyable, which is the race we have got in store tonight. It's our fourth 100% race of the season thus far here at the Hungary. It should be an exciting one, as I forget the camera angles don't always work at this circuit until it sort of gets to a certain point in the track and leaving the pit lane. But Ericsson is the first car out on circuit, so as a result of our full-length Grand Prix tonight, we've got a short qualifying session, 18 minutes to get the fastest time in, and obviously that puts you in starting position for the Grand Prix. Should be a fun one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one underway. Hungary is always chaos in the short form, but in the long form, it could be a bit more of a race of attrition, if I'm being entirely honest. So we have to wait and see as to what goes on as the first few cars take to the circuit.
Yeah, it could be a bit more of endurance, a bit more of tyre strategic and everything in between. Some people may opt for different strategies from racing 2 starts, 3 starts, maybe even a 1. Depends how long you can last those mediums.
So time management will be crucial over the course of this Grand Prix. It's a fantastic circuit, the Hungary Ring. Described in the past as Monaco without the walls, of course. It's made some changes to its layout over the course of the last sort of 25 years or so. I mean, it's stayed almost the same since the change made to the final sector, which was initially wasn't quite as straightforward in terms of when you reach turn 12. There was a bit more of a curve there. That straight end of the second sector wasn't quite as long. But that's the only change. Aside from that, it's just been built to be quite, for a purpose-built circuit, Ben, it's quite boxed in at the best of times. You think of basically the entire second sector, which is quite a narrow bit of the circuit, quite difficult to overtake there. So we'll see if we do see any sort of daring passes. But your main taking opportunities down here towards sort of turns 1 and 2, obviously 2 DRS zones in play there. And I think your last chance probably comes up at turn 4 if you're really brave up that hill. So I'd say those probably be the main places to keep an eye out for in terms of this first sector, but I'd say keep an eye into 10-12. We might see some moves being made there as well.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like tyres may already be starting to give way for Ericsson. He's had a few snaps at the cherry here and there. So whether the track is still green or its tyres is slightly on the hotter side already remains to be seen.
One thing I'll say is his ERS is looking all okay. He's about half his deployed. He's about half the lap to go. So I'd say he's not done too bad there in terms of battery usage thus far. Obviously, a bit more overtake here going into this last sector. 55.0 on the ball for the McLaren drivers. He makes his way into the last 2 corners on the circuit. Sorry, Ericsson, of course, still running there with the 2 points scored this season. His last 3 finishes being 18th, 15th, and 16th. Those races being Canada, Silverstone, and Spa. So looking to get back into the points for the first time in quite a while and try and close it to Alvarez. He does go fast. 117.232 is your initial benchmark. And up towards the line comes Imri in the Sauber, often your pole sitter. 1 minute 14.9. And the driver has claimed 7 poles this season, on course to try and claim an 8th in tonight's Grand Prix, and looking, of course, for his second one of the season. Still, yeah, hasn't finished on the podium in the last 3 races, Ben. I'd be a bit concerned.
Yeah, will be, yeah. As you say that, though, I just call on there. Jamie's lost his front wing.
Oh.
So what's happened? He's had a fight with a wall.
And apparently lost. So JB then.
Yes.
JB, for those of you who remember this race last season, actually joined me in the commentary box back when Ben was still behind the wheel, back in his early Martin Brundle days. And that is yeah, okay, right. So that is quite off character for JB. I'm hoping that won't be the story of the weekend or the evening for him, rather. I wouldn't like the Monday night to cap like that. But in comes JB then, end of his first run, and I just got some repairs to make in the pit lane. Obviously, it's a bit more work to do on the second run. TJ in second fastest, 1 minute 15.7 on the board for him, but still about 8/10 off Imri. Huff goes second fastest, returning this week to reserve in for Lucky Lambert. And it's been a few weeks, Ben. I think that you and I have both forgotten just how good in qualifying Huff seems to be over 1 lap.
Yeah, Huff is obviously brilliant. It just looks like Premium may have aborted on his first lap with 29.7. Huff is always up there or thereabouts in qualifying, but tends to drop off a bit in the races. So let's see if he can hold this one together.
You see Dan just go faster, though, 114.7. Of course, Dan has been pushing his way back in the championship as of late, 166 points to his name. It's still 113 behind Grumio, who's won all 4 of the last 4 races. Spain, Canada, Britain, and Belgium. It's been a run. He's been unstoppable these last weeks, and I think even that aborted run won't stop him, Ben, as he makes his way in through turn number 11 now. But of course, I mean, this has been one of those circuits where the champion has often been disrupted in the past. He's the reigning winner, but he has had races here previously where he has been upended by something or other, particularly in qualifying. I've seen him get laps deleted and crash here, especially going through turn 11, that last sector. So we'll see what he's got in the bag tonight. Che goes fastest, 114.697. Grumio towards the line now. So 1 minute 15.168. It's only 5th fastest as of right now, but in front of Pope, who of course was the season 17 winner. Sorry, excuse me, season 18 winner back here just over around a year ago. So Pope looking to take another victory for himself over obviously in his storied RDL career, as he runs in 5th place in the championship, currently sitting on 124 points. Only those top 5 have actually managed to hit 100 points so far this season. And I'd say keep an eye out, Ben. I mean, I'd say keep an eye out for 10th and for TJ, because there's only 1 point separating those two going into tonight's race. We've seen it in the past. 10th, perhaps not as strong in qualifying, but definitely stronger in the race. And TJ often has good qualifying, AT often has good qualifying runs, but can slip back in the Grand Prix. They're P10 and P14 right now after the first runs. So that one to keep an eye out for, I think, in terms of the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, it could definitely all be, with it obviously only being 1 point separate. Just looking on invalidations at the minute, Zach, we've only had 1 driver invalidate, but it's invalidated twice, and that is DJ.
Gotcha, yeah, DJ into the pit lane for Aston Martin. It's been a, I'll say it's been an equally tough run of form for him the last couple of rounds, and it's been a while since he's seen him get himself in the points. Only 14 points scored this season. Aston Martin still in 7th place in the Constructors. They're actually tied now with Alpine in 8th. So Ethan and PJ have come roaring back here in terms of that battle. And it'll be interesting to see how that fight continues on going into the second half of the campaign. Behind them, McLaren still on 19 points, but Ferrari just 7 back on 12. Lucky Lambert's obviously big point scorer in Canada about 3 weeks back. Still working wonders for that team in terms of chasing, but obviously only Courtney Goblin can score points tonight. Huff can't score as he is a reserve driver, those of you that don't know the rules in terms of the RDL reserve drivers. Imri back on the circuit and looking for a second run. He and HB Cook for Sauber, currently 15 points back from Mercedes in 3rd place. So they've got some work to do to try and get themselves close to the Silver Arrows. But obviously Dan in P2, Obsessed down the order, but yet to put a lap in. So we'll see how Obsessed stacks himself up. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on as well. But obviously still just a 1 point score from this season. It's been a tough season for him, and hoping the second half is better.
Yeah, open so, but we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yep, fair enough. And it's a very competitive grid, to say the least. Obviously, I'm sure Ben, you're a lot more aware of that than I am in terms of actually being on track with these guys, because I've only ever done that on rare occasions. But I have beaten Grumio in a 5-lapper once, but that is another story for another day entirely.
That is one thing to hold over Grumio. That.
I mean, if we get time during the 70-lap shootout, then I shall I shall tell that story if I remember, because it was on the week of this game launching. But for now, that still got 9 minutes of qualifying left to go through, and it's currently Che on top by just under half a tenth of a minute to Dan. Imri in 3rd place, just under 3 tenths back. Huff in 4th, Grumio P5.
Oh, Imri's lost it.
Oh, I've gone away from it at the wrong time there. He's gone to turn 11. As he lost it looks as though he's kept the car going straight, but just lost the back end of it. Lost to the back end of it, yeah?
Exactly what happened.
And there goes Imri, who said to me earlier today he's making changes to his driving style. I believe perhaps to prep for the new race cars, which will become. Oh, I see. I thought there's an RB around Imhash JB a second time around at turn 11.
Same place.
Same place, but crucially kept the car unscathed, which I think will be helpful for his second run. But obviously, he needs to get a little battery back in order to get himself set.
Yeah, those tyres are scorched now. That's the only thing JB's got to worry about.
So keep an eye as to how JB handles in terms of the rest of qualifying, as one of the Haas cars goes through.
We're pitting.
Back to the pit lane then for JB, and that was Grumio on an outlap here as he gets set for another run. And it'll be interesting to see if he can put himself back on pole position for the 6th time this season. As I say, it's been only Imri and Grumio who have scored points. rather not, who have scored poles in this campaign. I mean, that'd be a pretty boring championship, wouldn't it, Ben? Let's face it.
It would indeed, yes.
I mean, truthfully, between Emery and Grumio, in terms of over the course of a Grand Prix, there's only really ever been one winner there. But we'll see if Emery has what it takes to try and challenge in tonight's Grand Prix. It's a long race, and Grumio has been, in terms of longevity, in terms of these 4 Grand Prix distances, it's been him and Dan who've been the main sort of 2 challengers. We've seen a number of drivers in the past try and put Grumio to the sword. No one's been able to do it realistically, and it's gonna we'll obviously wait for the day where someone will come along and eventually dethrone the 10-time champion. But for now, though, we continue on as we are in what I'm guessing is sort of a dystopian future in which Max Verstappen is the dominant force of Formula 1 and wins every championship from now to the end of time. So that's what that's the sort of vibe we're getting here at the minute as Ethan makes his way in through turn 11. He's wearing I'm guessing that's a special helmet. He's wearing an Antonelli helmet, which I'm guessing isn't a game glitch. It's more a special helmet. I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, maybe some sort of glitch there.
Yeah, it could go either way. Grumio goes third fastest. Ethan currently the leading Alpine, but in front by only about a tenth or so to his teammate. That could improve though. Ethan goes up by a tenth and a half to make that a quarter of a second separating the 2 Alpines, but still P10 and P12 as of right now. Only 10th Cannon in P11, splitting those 2 up on the starting grid as it stands right now. Alvar there in P13, as you saw DJ come to the line. DJ in P10 now, so pushing forward for Aston Martin and joining his teammate in the top half. Websy there in P7, 1 minute 15.4 on the board. Curtis comes in. You've seen Curtis done fantastically in recent weeks. 5th, 8th and 5th have been solid point scoring finishes for that team, trying to help him close in on his teammate TJ. Those 2 have bagged 113 points between them. So it's been a good season for Red Bull so far. Obviously, hopefully things will continue on for them in the second half as they try and see if they can. It's unlikely whether they try and catch Sauber or even Mercedes. I have to wait and see in terms of how consistent they are in this second half. One driver I'm concerned for playing is Pope. He's currently down in 8th place. He's going for another lap now, but I'm wondering perhaps if is that down the order on pure pace, or could Pope be in trouble tonight? I mean, his teammate's on pole and he's almost a second back.
I don't think we're not used to seeing Pope struggle. Pope will almost undoubtedly pull it back, whether it's in the race or in qualifying, indeed. But Pope has got it in him tonight, I reckon.
Well, he's won it a few times in the past. Of course, his most recent wins coming out, as I say, back in season 18, and of course, back in season 12 when he was the defending champion. There's been a lot of discussion about that classic finish over the course of the build up to this Grand Prix. Particularly a exciting finish between Grumio back when he was Blaze, and Dan and Pope. Pope came out on top. Dan narrowly squeezed Grumio on the line for second place. So that was a very tough end to the race for the driver who at the time was only a 3-time champion, I believe. So that was a long time ago we're talking about. It's been around 4 years or so since that race, and we are.
Wow.
Yeah, and he is since then not slowing down. That was the last time he was sort of beaten in a title fight in the capacity. That was beaten by a landlord who obviously no longer with the league at this point.
Dang it! Bring back the good old times.
I mean, it's a very competitive era, I'll say that. But so is this one. I mean, in terms of,
yes.
I'd say the race winners don't always tell the full story of these Grand Prix. They are often very exciting, particularly these full-length ones, as you can see who has the longevity to make it to the end and really challenge. JB out for a third lap. He is on the circuit once more. He's got 4 minutes to put a time in. He's one of 2 drivers yet to put a lap in. Him and Courtney Goblin, who we're used to seeing in the pit lane for this long at this stage of the session. Che is still fastest by about half a tenth to Dan. Grumio is there in third place. It's 21 thousandths back from Dan in second. Emery's in third, about 2 tenths off of Grumio. Huff in fourth. He's the lowest car in the 115s as of right now. Curtis, then Websy, Pope, TJ, and ATG on top 10. DJ slips P11. Is Ethan P12. Alvar 10th. PJ, HB Cook, Ericsson, Obsessed, Courtney, and obviously JB, who's had that deleted now. So I have to go again, build battery back up, and go for one more run. It's only him, Obsessed, and 10th Cannon on the circuit as of right now. As you see, one of the Williams cars into the pit lane. That's Pope. I think it's swinging. Pat's put on a fresh set and go for one last run. I'm not too sure as to what his game plan is there. But yeah,
might as well go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. He's got 3 minutes. So I'd say he's got enough time to go back in and go back out there, I should think, hopefully.
Yeah, and
Chess goes wide there at turn 3.
Yeah, and JB's back in the pit lane, so this is going at 5 for JB.
So it's looking like JB we start from the tail end. As Obsessed wheels the car around through the course of the chicane. Through turns 6 and 7. as he enters turn 8 now. I see that more technical second sector, much more perhaps the narrowest part of the circuit. I mean, you wouldn't think it, but obviously, I mean, the racing line's only really there good for one car at a time, so you'll be very careful going side by side within the machine when you're making way through that second sector as a whole, because obviously it narrows up when you reach turn 5 and sort of widens out again, going through turns 11, 12, and 13 and 14.
Yeah, does you? Just trying to go through side by side here is and I can't get my words out today. Yeah, going through side by side with another car through it, it's just a pain. You might as well just back out of it because it costs a heap of time and you almost undoubtedly end up going for a spin.
Well, we shall see, Ben, who takes your advice later on in the evening. It should
Down to everybody.
You never really know, do you?
No.
Right, final run's getting underway now. Less than 2 minutes to go. JB's back in the pit lane. I don't think he's going back out. He's going back out. I know he's coming back out again. And Pope is also back out in the circuit. So I know he don't have enough time to go for another one. Yeah, we'll see who takes pole position from this. Imri is currently on his fast line, so makes his way through turn 2 and through 3 now. He sort of emerged into a nice bit of room between the Williams and the Aston Martin. As I said, Aston goes wide for him at turn 4. It's turn 5 now. Keep the car nice and controlled. Let's keep an eye on the chicane here, Ben. It's next way through turns 6 and through number 7 towards 8. The amount of car control you need to sort of keep the car rolling at speed through here is mad. It's like to say one of the Mercedes cars of the circuit. I believe that's obsessed, if I had to guess. As Dan, we'll have to see here if Dan comes through to the line to start his last lap. As Imri is a quarter of a second up, which is what he needs right now. I mean, that might be enough. I'm not too sure. He might need a bit more than that in this last sector, as one of the Haas cars going slow. That is AT, who sits down in P11 as of right now. So one of the Haas cars struggling, quite similar to one of the Williams cars struggling in Pope in terms of qualifying order. As Dan starts his lap, Imri towards the line, Chase starts his last run, and Imri goes fastest by 37 thousandths. So Chase doesn't need much to get himself in front, as TJ retires from the session at the exit at turn 1. And there goes Dan around. Dan spun the car.
Oh, TJ crash.
Oh, I mean, I must have done, yeah. If I have a look here, AT.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's just gone now. TJ looks like he's lost the rear end at exit at turn 1 and just crashed it.
I mean, it's easily done when you think about it, especially on low traction, as I know the majority of these guys run. The yellow flags are out there in that first sector of an Alpine. There's stopped. I believe that's an Alpine. Is that one of the Alpines? That's PJ on the grass there. I think he's just run over. Let's check a flag. Who is our next car to the line? It's the other Red Bull of Curtis. He rounds the final corner through turn 14 to the line. No, improves slightly, stays in P6 though. Next car through is the Ferrari of Huff, who's currently a 10th up. His 10th Cannon retires from 7th place. So a fantastic qualifying for her if she can maintain that, and obviously continue on her fight with AT and potentially even TJ in the Constructors' Championship. 9 points separating those three, and Huff stays in 5th place. Here comes one of the Williams cars towards the line. Shea goes faster. Oh, Grimmy off the circuit, yes.
Validated as well, so Grimmy's had a bit of an error somewhere, proving the fact he is indeed human.
Indeed he is, but that could cost him massively here in the late stage of qualifying. Dan retires. Imri is, I guess, to settle for 2nd place. Huff P5, Pope to P6. Next car through to Naomi. Grimio's called it there. He's out. Websy in 10th place as it stands right now. Alvar into the last couple of corners, currently 10th down. PJ staying where he is. HP Cook improving by 3/10 as it stands right now. As JB gets a lap in at last. JB into P13 for the race start. Conley Goblin didn't get a lap in the end. He wasn't so lucky. And that'll do it for him. He could have used some luck from his teammate, is what I'll say. As Alvar comes towards the line, P15 there. HP Cook in P16. And PJ and Ericsson likely staying where they are. Yep. And PJ will come to the line, P17. Websy P10. And it'll be Che then who takes home pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It'll be a long race ahead. So how much pole will serve as an advantage remains to be seen. But for the first time this season, a 3rd pole setter in the campaign, it is Che. So at last, Grumio and Imri's run has been toppled. It lasted 12 rounds, but someone else on pole.
It's always nice to see somebody else on pole, but it's a stonking lap there from Che, weren't they? 14.5.
Not a bad lap at all then. So Che will lead us down to the first corner to long runs turn 1. Imri alongside him in 2nd place. We'll see how Dan and Grumio fare from the 2nd row. Huff and P5 there again amongst the leaders for the race start. It should be an exciting one. So I'd say don't go anywhere. But we'll take you through the full qualifying results before we get into our brief intermission before the race gets underway. It's Che on pole position, followed by Imri, Dan, Grumio and Huff, your top 5. Pope in P6, and it's Curtis, 10th Cannon, AT, and Websy running at the top half for Aston Martin. TJ and DJ get together on row 6, 11th and 12th. JB 13th, and it's Ethan 14th. Alvar, HB Cook, PJ Khaled, Ericsson, and Obsessed Gamer. And the end of Cockney Goblin doesn't get a lap time in. So that'll do us then for qualifying. And we shall return in a few minutes' time for the start of the Grand Prix. Welcome back then. Time for the Hungarian Grand Prix to get underway here from the Hungaroring. Round 13 of Season 20 in the Races Driving League Championship, which is your second half of the campaign, gets underway. There is your circuit. 14 corners, described like Monaco without the walls in the past, and the top 5 is very, very condensed. And Ben, we should be in for an exciting full-length Grand Prix. 70 laps in the Hungaroring, and we'll see if Grumio can go back-to-back, both in terms of race wins this season and wins of the Hungaroring. He's the defending winner here. He's won the last 4 races. Can he make it to 5 in a row from P4 on the starting grid? That's the big question.
That is a good question indeed. We've seen he's done it before. Can he do it again?
Well, either way, it's a 113-point lead in the Drivers' Championship to Dan at the moment. A gap that looks fairly insurmountable, and it's more... Despite still having half the season to go, it does look like a case of matter of when as opposed to if, in terms of whether Grumio will capture an 11th RDL title. As we switch over to our live feed to get set for the start of the race, waiting for drivers to finish readying up and to obviously get their setup sorted and obviously strategies in place. Different strategy is essentially to be looked at for this Grand Prix. So obviously you do only run 6 full-length races a season. This is one of them, and yeah, I mean this is the 4th one. There's 2 more to go after this one. We get set to have a look at our starting grid here for the Grand Prix. Have a look at starting tyres as well as the cars begin towards turn 1. New pole sitter in Che, first pole of the campaign, and Imri lines up P2, looking to try and take a second win of the season from 2nd place. Dan starts from 3rd, Grumio starting from 4th place. I believe it might be his lowest qualifying of the season. I'm not too sure. Huff lines up P5, perhaps one of the higher qualifying spots for a Ferrari this season. Obviously, reserving can't score points. It's the only reserve in tonight's grid in place of Lucky Lambert. Pope starts from P6 on the hard tyres for Williams, one of 2 hard tyre starters in this race. Curtis Shepard lines up in P7 for Red Bull. 5th place finish last week, looking to try and make it another one to close in his teammate in the Drivers' Championship. 10th Cannon lines up P8. She's still sitting in P6 in the standings, but 12th last week, failed to score. And I'll see if her new point streak can start this week. AT lines up P9. Only 1 point separating those 2 drivers in the standings. And that gap could change with today's race. Websy lines up in 10th place, same place season in the championship, 22 points from this season, and leading Aston Martin's point tally. TJ in P11, and looking forward to another good race. He's finishing the points through the last 3 races, same for his teammate. And DJ lands at 12th. He's been the opposite. He's been failed to score the last 3 rounds. So he's trying to get himself back in the top 10. JBP 13 had a tough time of it in qualifying, but got a lap in at the very end and lands up on row 7th alongside Ethan in the Alpine. Alvar in P15 and obviously pushing for McLaren after scoring a point last week in Belgium. HP Cook lines up P16, looking for a much stronger second half of the campaign. Scored at Silverstone last time with 2 points to his name in that sense and 20 for the season, tied with Ethan. PJ lines up P17 for Alpine, who is obviously tied with Aston Martin in the constructors right now, so that gap could swing today. Ericsson P18 looking to try and have his first points in quite well, just 2 from this season. Obsessed P19, tough first half from the season, looking for retribution in the second. And Courtney Goblin lines up dead last for Ferrari, so 7 points back from McLaren in the constructors. But the cars up front lining up. Ben, it should be a start of a great race here.
Yep, let's go for it. All guns blazing, and we'll see who makes it into turn 1 alive.
Hopefully all of them. Hopefully we'll get to the first corner at least before it's any sort of carnage a la Bottas bowling in 2021. But Chase at the front of your grid. Grumio? Imri is alongside him in the kick sour as they run towards that first corner. The lights are on here in Hungaroring. And we are on the way for the second half of the season. And round 13 is go here at Hungary. It's a great start from Che, covering off Imri immediately. But Grumio might try and go on the inside towards turn 1. They're almost 3 out for second place. There goes Imri, being spotted up on the brakes by both Grumio and Dan. But Che leads away here on corner exit. Fantastic start. Dream start. Grumio into P2 already. Huff challenging for 4th place there on Dan. Makes the move stick down towards turn 2. Imri trying the inside if he can. Grumio sends a bit wide there on corner exit. Imri might try and find a way back in. Curtis making moves behind them. Websy and Curtis side by side. Websy around the outside. Contact between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. Everyone makes it through to the first 3 corners unscathed. Up towards turn 4 for the first time.
Oh, soldier!
Car around.
Oh, it's Imri now!
Imri's gone wide. He's back on the circuit. He's managed to rejoin it. No damage done. But very close there. But I saw him go off for a second. But I thought that was race over. But not to be. Imri all good. But losing spots. There goes Pope from P6 to P4. What a start for him as well.
Yeah, it's been a mega start for the likes of Grumio and Pope, but a bit of a disaster then through 2 and 4 between the Ferrari of Huff and then Imri and Nicky Sauber.
So Imri and Huff now to P5 and P6 respectively. Websy trying to challenge AT to the inside into turn 11, couldn't quite do it, stays in line for the time being, but Che's had a dream start there, exactly what he would have wanted. He's got to hold that lead for 69 more laps. Yellow flag behind us, this game already out of the session, and a VSC deployed. Crashing at turn 12.
Good shout, because I wonder what happened there. I wonder if he went for a move. I don't know what had happened.
But tough break there for Obsessed Gamer, who's looking for a bit more in this to start of the second half of the season, and ends up in the barriers over at turn 12. I'm not sure if there was contact, I'm not sure what happened to that car, but there you are. Che leads away though. He leads the first lap. Grumio second, Dan third, Pope fourth, and Imri completes your top 5. In behind it's Huff, AT, Websy, Curtis, and DJ. Both Astons now in the top 10 in the race that stands right now. TJ P11, JB up a place. 10th Cannon down a few spots. She's down to P13 now. HP Cook P14. It's Ethan, Cottony, PJ, and the 2 McLarens, Ericsson and Alvar, bringing up the rear. As we wait now for the green flag to get back out to get this race back underway again. But yeah, tough start for Obsessed and for Mercedes as a whole, as they obviously strive to try and close the gap and try and pull away from Kick Sauber. If those 2 green machines get both cars at the order, they could be in for a good point score today. And obviously Dan is up there as well, but DRS is back in place. We go back to racing here on lap number 2. VSC over quite quickly. Mercedes all cleared up, and Che goes wide there going through turn number 8. So might keep an eye out for track elements. Obviously, we'll see a lot of those in this Grand Prix. It's a lot longer race, more room for error, more time to make errors. So it'll be interesting to see in that sense. Definitely keeps it single file in this restart. Dan quite close to Grumio here, Ben. We may see a move down the main straight if we're lucky.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Out of the final corner here. DRS in play for Grumio though as well, let's not forget. So we may not see something. We'll have to wait and see here. But nothing for Pope. But Imri's got some down towards turn 1, but hasn't got enough runs to try and challenge just yet, I don't think. And the same thing for the 2 cars in front, as Imri actually goes to the inside. Let's get that. They're going to move and going underneath. Pope on corner X is going to try and get in front. He's got DRS again, leaving turn 1 up towards turn 2. He's going to go the long way around here into the left-hander, but can he clear Pope and his former teammate on the outside? These 2 were part of that famous 1-2 finish. What a move from Imri there, and looking, that's a fantastic start to the lead. He's still down 2 spots, but good stuff. And if he can try and carry that on, I see no reason why he can't go and challenge the leaders up front.
Yep, the only problem is down guy is that he's 1.6 behind Dan, so he's gonna have that DRS. Is Pope starting to struggle here, because Huff is all over the back of that Williams.
Pope obviously on the hard tyre to the race start here, so obviously not on the faster tyre, or not the preferred tyre for his first stint, but trying something a bit different in terms of his in terms of running. It's actually 3 starters, not two on the hard tyre, so I apologise for that. But you see Ericsson on them as well for the McLaren team. But those two bringing up the rear of the running cars that stands right now. Che is pulling out front here. He's got about a second to Grumio as they reach the detection point. So it looks as though he's sort of pull a gap, and that will leave Grumio a bit more vulnerable to Dan going down towards turn 1 here as we get lap 4 of the race. Fast lap for Che as well.
Indeed,
so
it will.
Quicker and quicker.
Here comes Dan. He's going to go for it.
And there he goes.
That seemed fairly easy.
Very easy, yes. I completely concur, Ben. He gets DRS to pull away to a boot as well. So Grumio away a little bit here, but remember, if he stays close, then he'll have the advantage next time round. Only 2 DRS zones here in Hungary, but they're both coming within 2 straights of each other, so there's not a lot in it. It's one of those where sort of you finish one DRS zone and you're prepping immediately for the next one. Very similar to, say, to Australia or to Abu Dhabi, for example, in that sense.
Yeah, it's very similar to likes of Australia. Australia's a bit more fast flow, and this is a lot more slow speed. Obviously, you still got your fast speed in set 2, which absolutely knackers your tyres out, but at the same time, turn 1, turn 4, fairly heavy braking zones, and then turn 6 as well.
So Che, I was about to say stretching that lead, but not right now because Dan's closing in. Dan's rather stretching advantage over Grumio here. Imre is now 2 seconds back from the car in 3rd place as it stands right now. So you might find some a bit more pressure from both Pope and Huff, but Huff may have other ideas first, as he closes big time here on Pope as we round the last corner. Through turn 14 we come, and up front at the beginning lap 5 of the Grand Prix. Dan fastest lap, I think with good reason too. You see the pace he's had in this lap to try and close Che in. So down towards that first corner, DRS in play for both Huff and for Pope. So another car getting a move done for the time being. Another car either attacking or defending. And it's all single file behind them here through the entirety of the field. So everyone's sort of settled into a nice rhythm here. And we'll get a bit more of a race in as Huff gets DRS to get off Pope down towards turn 2, but nothing doing for now.
Yeah, nothing doing for like the Huff in the Ferrari, but at the same time, he's also just got to make sure his tyres are fine. Tyres are a big issue around Hungary, around the Hungary ring. So to be this close behind the Williams for so long, it's not going to do them any good.
So for now, for now he's keeping himself nice and close, but also the things trying not to pull away from Imre too much. But Imre is trying to stretch himself to that 1 second gap. He's got a few corners still, so I'm probably has to go as full beans as he is. But he's also working to try and close in on Grumio. He's now 2.6 behind. So he's actually losing time to the top 3 as it stands at the minute. Che is still on the verge of trying to pull away here at the moment as we come towards the start of lap 6 this race. He's held the lead quite nicely on the start, and obviously since that VST, a fantastic getaway to cover off Imre on the right hand side before they even reach turn 1. And he'll bring that Williams around to begin the 6th lap of the Grand Prix. Of course, he's already won a race this season, as Curtis Shepard falling down the order here. Curtis down to P11, 10th down to P13. Those guys still fighting as they make the way. Large training off the last corner, which could fall for an attack as Huff makes the pass on Pope. A lot of DRS cars in play, side by side between TJ and DJ into turn 1.
How many cars are there here? 6 cars in total.
Big gaggle of machines. I'm counting 7, perhaps even 8 here if you're trying to include PJ in the little train. And Ericsson and Cottney going side by side as well. It looks like Cottney may win out on that occasion. They're side by side down towards turn 2. Someone's got to give here. Around the outside goes Ericsson. It's a good move to try and clear the Ferrari, but Cottney's still there on the inside on corner exit. They'll be the outside for turn 3, and the Ferrari forced to fall back into the line as the McLarens both at 1 place each since the VSC.
Yep. There's a whole gaggle of cars here behind the Red Bull of TJ.
TJ trying to expand the gap a little bit here. Currently 8/10 in front of DJ at the minute. Curtis behind him.
What a save from Dens.
Making a save there, yeah?
Yeah, Tev's nearly lost it. Just coming out at turn 7 or turn 8? You know, the first left-hander.
Turn 8 that'll be.
Out of the S's. Yes, turn 8. Nearly lost it. Had to correct the slide, but lost time in doing so.
He's holding on to P14 right now, but could come under a lot more pressure if she loses DRS to HP Cook in front, because Ethan is right up her tail and looking for that 14th spot. So Huff made the pass on Pope going down towards turn 1, and Pope now 1.2 back. So I dare say, Ben, you're right. Can we go on with Pope so far today? As Curtis makes the move the inside of DJ into turn 1. He pulls ahead on corner exit and will try and join his teammate up in front, but would be already about 1.2 behind, was DJ to begin with, who runs wide at turn 2, which could allow JB or HP Cook to try and join the party from where they are from there. They've still got a lap or so to get themselves back up to the tail end of that car. Imri now under a bit more pressure from Huff in 4th place. So these two have come together once or twice in Huff's early reserve race. Think back to Monaco, the contact of Raskas. Think back to Spain in particular, that whole incident early on in the Grand Prix post-safety cars. Imri was obviously coming through the field, and Huff was just trying to hold on to things. The contact between them at turn 13, and that sort of settled things in terms of their respective Grand Prix. Huff went out, and Imri obviously struggled with floor damage the remainder of the race. So hopefully those two keep it clean this time, Ben.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. It looks like he's doing a lot better than what he has done in previous races. In terms of ERS, it looks like he may be taking good care of his tyres as well.
So we are now 10% of the race of the Grand Prix. Chase still leads, but Dan is closing that gap in, and Grumio's still staying with them at both the minute, but nothing doing for the time being. It's these three who are arguably the fastest in terms of complete pace in the league, as Huff makes his challenge to the inside now of Imri into that first corner. Imri has told me, for those of you who missed during qualifying, Imri told me he's been sort of going back over his driving style in terms of preparation for the 2026 cars, which based on when the DLC will release, should come into play for season 21. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing a number of new teams. Obviously, Audi, Cadillac join the grid, and obviously an 11th team, which pushed up to 22 cars for these RDO races, which will hopefully be more exciting. 2 more cars, 2 more drivers on the grid. But for now, though, we are still running these old gen F1 cars for the time being, as Huff takes a big bit of curb there through turn 7, but keeps the car rolling. He's now 4 seconds back from Grumio. We'll see if he can try and close that gap. But for now, though, up front, it's still Che with no real challenge from Dan as of yet. So continue on as we are then here. And you see that big train of cars is still going in the minute, Ben. Obviously, the 2 Red Bulls are pulled away. DJ still leads that train. He's got JB, HP Cook, 10th Cannon, Ethan, PJ for company. Alvar a bit further back, 2 seconds back to Ericsson, and Courtney Goblin dead last of the remaining cars in this race as of right now. We're on to lap 9 now as Cuff breaking the toe massively there in the race for the 4th spot. To Imri going down towards turn 1, who will close a bit, but not enough. He might actually go for a send here. Scrap that. Imri going to try for a second, but a lock up from Huff that could bring the Sauber back into play. But slide out of turn 1 from the reserve, and Imri not close enough to go for a move just yet, but obviously letting Huff know that he is still there and he's still about. So another lock up from the Ferrari there through turn 2, down the hill into 3. It's looking good for Huff right now, but nothing is certain. We'll say that much.
Yeah, well, I think Imri's slightly picked up the pace. Obviously, he's got the help with DRS as well, but it looks like we're starting to see two races from his act. One being headed by the Aston Martin, the other being headed by Williams.
Well, that's, yeah, split into 2 packs of 10 at the minute. I mean, DJ only 2.5 seconds back from Curtis. But those two, Curtis and TJ, are both in that train and have pulled away to a rate of knots here. So both of them looking more focused on trying to chase down Webbsy in 8th place. And obviously in Curtis' case, trying to chase his teammate back. But DJ is doing okay right now. There's obviously no real depth from JB behind for the time being. JB obviously had a tough time of it in qualifying. Got a lap in at the very end of the session and put himself P13. One place up on the start. JB didn't score last week. Had a somewhat tough race in Belgium last time around. And looking to recover himself. Obviously, RB have fallen away big time in the Constructors' Championship from Red Bull. They're still quite safe in 6th place. Aston Martin currently sitting another 38 points back in the standings at the minute. Sorry, no, excuse me, that is no 30. No, no, it's about 84 points. So okay, that's me. I am getting myself so no, that's not right either. Okay, I'm going to stop mathing, so because I'm clearly getting nowhere here. I'll work out the calculation. I'll do it later. But obviously, I think the same thing for Aston Martin and Alpine. They're both tied at the minute. But Aston Martin, with Webbsy in 8th place, have that tiebreaker right now because Ethan and PJ are both stuck in that train behind the other Aston, who's working fairly hard to keep everyone else at bay. Webbsy's more focused on trying to take on AT in the race for that 7th spot. And obviously, AT with up there will mean that he takes over P6 in the Drivers' Championship over 10th Cannon, who will lose that place after holding it for the majority of the first half of the season so far. So 10's got some work to do to try and recover herself in this race. There's a long way to go, and we're still obviously pull it up towards the end of the Grand Prix. So we'll see how she gets on, if she can get herself up, or further away from that train. Perhaps when pit stops come into play, we might see things get a bit more interesting in that sense. Up front, though, you see Grumio's fallen away now from Dan big time here. He's currently sitting a 2.5 seconds back from Dan. He's more focused on trying to take on his former teammate, though. Of course, those two who won the Constructors' Championship for Haas last season, looking to try and challenge the race lead here. And Pope's got himself back up behind Huff and Imri. So those two still fighting. Imri now back in front of the Ferrari, but not really pulling away as of right now.
Not, yeah, so it was back in front, we passed Huff while we were trying to do all the constructors math. But it was a bit of a touchy fight. It could have easily ended contact between the two. But at the same time, I'd like to see how bad tyre wear is for Huff rather than Imri. So I think Huff's been pushing a fair bit, Imri is fairly coasting.
Well, Huff obviously trying to work on getting back around Imri, but also has Pope up his tail as well. So obviously he's got concerns on both sides. I've done the math earlier talking about it. We are looking at 42 points, the gap between VCarb to Aston and Alpine in the championship. So I had my multiples right, but I went for double the amount, not the extra thing. So there we go. We will learn things from this Grand Prix. We're 11 laps in, about to get lap 12, and it still is top 3 commanding. I say top 3, it's top 2 now because Grumio is still 1.3 behind. Still falling away a fair bit here. In a bit of trouble on this Grand Prix as it stands right now. As Dan still closing towards turn 1. Imri breaks the toe, or tries to break the toe. Huff is closing in regardless. The question is, where does he go? Does he go to the inside? He might go to the inside here. He's going to go for it. Yep, Imri leaves it open, and Huff down underneath at turn 1. Can he try and pull clear on corner exit? He can't do that. Huff slides leaving turn 1, and Imri gets full advantage to try and close back in, and clear Huff once again into turn 2. Pope behind both of them, and running wide there in the braking zone. Huff trying to find a way
went
through.
Into the back of the fire.
Very nearly, yeah. It was close to that, but I say good thing he ran wide and didn't do that. So that ended the race of two quite promising ones so early on in this Hungarian Grand Prix. AT, Websy, TJ and Curtis still separated by about 2 seconds at the minute. And then from there, DJ still leading that train. As you put it, Ben, leading essentially a second race in one race at the minute, as it stands right now. I mean, you worded it better than I did. I was trying to put something clever on it, but I couldn't quite do that. So we'll I'm going to stick to the riddles and just try and call the race.
Okay, that's fine by me.
I'm glad we agree. Che is still in control. Dan is still. The gap stays stagnant. He's not really closing in. He's yet to actually make a proper challenge on Che for the race lead here. So I wonder if perhaps he's content for the time being and just running around behind his old teammate and not doing anything too crazy, not sort of engaging in combat that needs to be engaged in this early on in the Grand Prix. These two are the cars leading the race, so not too concerned in terms of making moves. Tough may go for it again to the inside into turn 1. There he goes underneath and goes for the dive.
Nice.
Contact! And he's knocked up and hit Imri, and Pope goes through 2 for 1, or more nearly 2 for 1 for Pope. There he goes, and illegal overtaking I think for Huff. Contact was made. Imri gets back through again, but both cars lose out to Pope then, who gains quite nicely from that.
Yeah, so Pope has gained all that, obviously, on the harder compound tyres. Was looking faster than these two anyway, so we'll see if Pope can pull away.
He's gone back and forth so far in terms of pace, being quicker than them and then sort of falling away from them. So we're not quite sure as to where Pope's pace lies on those hard tyres for now, as Imri might try and challenge him into the chicane. I thought he'd go for it for a second, doesn't think of it, and stays in line. But we'll see come the DRS traitors if the Huff goes for it again or the Huff starts to fall away perhaps. No damage done to either one of those two cars, which is quite fortunate. Both of them are quite down the order here. Imri obviously started second in this Grand Prix. Didn't have the best of starts going through turn 4 on the first lap, and as a result is now sat here down in P5, and he'll wonder if if I know Imri, I imagine he'll be wondering if that's done his racing. We'll have to wait and see in terms of what happens to the rest of this Grand Prix, because there's plenty of time for a safety car to sort of spice things up in terms of strategy, in terms of track position. It'll be interesting. On to lap 14 now, and 3/4 of a second between the two leaders, and up and behind them, it's still this train has been quite quiet since we last left it. DJ still leads JB. HB Cook right up his chuff in P13, but no one. It's a long DRS. No one's going for anything. As Imri makes the pass down on Pope into turn 1. Imri now back in 4th place again, and Huff down in P6. I think falling away a little bit here on corner exit. They head down towards turn 2. But back behind them here, it is all still DJ, JB, HB Cook. So nothing doing for the time being for any of these guys. Cockney Goblin running by himself in dead last in P19, 13 seconds back from Ericsson in P18. So it's tough stuff for the minute. But right now we're looking at sort of 3 or 4 separate races at the minute.
Yeah, we are, yeah. Just quick one on Chain Dan. I'm surprised them two haven't pulled away from Grumio as much as they have. Grumio is starting to close back in again a bit. but it's only by like half tenths.
Oh!
Speaking of double, it's picked up a 3-second time penalty.
And that might be the sign for Grumio to get a move on, because I mean, we've seen him do it in the late stage of a Grand Prix, and from there he just tries to pull away and tries to pull out 3 seconds. We'll have to see what he does now, to see if he changes his game plan. But we'll have to, obviously we're not too sure in terms of everyone else's check limit penalties, if anyone else is close at all. We'll have to see if Che or Dan get one themselves later on. As Dan again closing in towards turn 1. Not close this time, might go for a move if he's lucky, but won't go for it for now. Both cars not using ERS, staying in line, but Grumio 1.7 back, and Imri's now got Pope with his tail going towards turn 1. Pope makes the charge to the inside of those hard tyres, and as you say, Ben, I think Pope's still a bit faster than the 2 cars around him, so he holds on to P4 once again. AT being challenged by TJ into 1, nothing doing for the time being there, and DJ still leading the train. JB not close to go for an attack just yet. He might go for it this time though, towards turn 1, making a ascend. Here goes the V-Carb to the inside of the Aston Martin, and on corner exit is side by side.
Had to do something.
JB outbreak kicking DJ.
Yeah, fair play, good move from JB. Just checked warnings. The only warning that Dan has got is with Grumio. That is it. So it looks like Grumio may have a slight disadvantage now.
It's still a long way to go. I mean, we've seen it. You and I are counting at a certain point of the race how many drivers are left without penalties. Ericsson becomes number 2 on the list. So that's 17 to go, and there's a third one, PJ. So I dare say the floodgates have voluntarily opened then, Ben. So I have to keep an eye out for this during this next portion of the Grand Prix. But Grumio is still 1.3, 1.4 behind. So the gap has stagnated a bit, but he has closed in a little bit because he was 1.7 back about a lap or 2 ago. As Dan closes again, but can't do anything. Pope 8 seconds back from Grumio, Imri behind him, Huff behind him, and no change between those 3 for the time being.
Didn't expect the gap to be 8 seconds between Grumio and Pope. I just looked up in the top left-hand corner of my screen. It's 8.1 seconds. That is ridiculous.
Well, those top 3 are dangerously fast, to put it mildly, over the first 15 laps of this Grand Prix. We're on lap 16 now. Still a long way to go. We have got about 54 laps to go in this thing, and we are likely nearing our first pit stops at some stage. Let's see how long we go before that change gets made. It'll certainly be quite interesting. One thing I do miss, I'll say this, I miss the top 10 qualifying rule, in terms of the rule where anyone who qualified in the top half had to stay on their qualifying tyre.
Yes.
I feel like now we're using full quali, having that rule back would be a lot more enjoyable. We see a lot more early pit stops in the race, but obviously F1 made their choice of that a few years ago, which is unfortunate. So I have to just do what they say in that sense.
Yeah, I'd like to agree with you on that one. That, to be fair, I don't know why they abandoned that rule. It's limited overtaking, limited charges, and as a result, it's just provided a lot less entertainment for the fans, and I'm sure with the teams as well.
If memory serves, I think the reason they got rid of it was part of the cost cap changes. Obviously, the tyre blankets, the heated tyre.
No money related.
Which sort of cost a bit of money. I don't really actually use those anymore. I'm not too sure. I'll have to research that after the Grand Prix. I'll have to get back to you on that. But I mean,
bring it back.
No penalties at the minute, or at least since the other ones. And DJ still leading that train. JB's pulled away a little bit here, but DJ still got DRS, so the train not broken up just yet. HP Cook might try and follow JB through at some stage. The question as to when he'll try is when he gets a better run out of turn 1, but we won't do it for now. But DJ, thanks to that DRS, keeping close to JB. Hasn't been able to pull away just yet, but there goes PJ going wide there. Wide. An established chance might arrive on the outside. Not quite. It was close.
Back.
No, not quite. Not quite. But so DJ stays where he is.
Not daring it into turn 4, and that's probably a smart move from the Key Salvador.
Smart indeed. 10th Cannon's still behind. I imagine likely 10th and the 2 Alpines are probably a bit more frustrated. They can't really get for anything at the minute. There's a bit of a slide there going through turn 6. 10th recovers it, but now has Ethan still right behind her, still challenging and wanting that place off sooner rather than later to avoid using those tyres too much. Up front, it's still Che Command in this thing. Dan is still in second, but yet to make a real challenge for the race lead just yet. Perhaps things might get a bit more interesting in the second stint. As behind them, Pope has managed to sort of pull away a bit more from Imri and Huff. They're still a little DRS train, but they're all split up now, so there's a lot more between them than there was.
Yeah, those things are starting to simmer down a bit. We had a bit of a fairly chaotic start, which we realised with Imri, Hull. I believe Imri and Huff that made contact lap 1. And then, oh, it may remove from the Aston Martin. No, it just sits from behind the RB. Yeah, so we had a fairly chaotic lap one, and things have really just
Slide.
simmered down.
Go on the grass.
Oh,
DJ on the grass. And there he goes.
went airborne.
Indeed he did, yeah. I mean, that was very...
Odd.
I mean, yeah, he slid. I'm guessing just lost traction, lost grip on the way out of turn one.
Right.
Slid, and then from there found the grass. So tough break for DJ. But now that means that things open a bit more. But now HB Cook leads the line. He's almost a second back from JB. He might be able to try and pull away now a bit more and get him to that DRS and try and get away from that train and to try and work on closing Websies. But 8.7 seconds behind the other Aston Martin for now. So one of them still in the points paying place. Now break the tie between them and Alpine, as Websy is on the tail of Curtis there in 9th place. Of course, this little 4-car train, I haven't seen it much in this race. AT leading us. Grumio comes in for the first stop of the Grand Prix.
Yep, the first stop indeed. I had to pick Grumio because Grumio was just not gaining at all on the top two, and fairly maintaining his gap, so I hope we were starting to gain a slight bit here and there. I don't know what happened to the Aston Martin there, Zach, coming out of turn one. That was ridiculously weird. It's either that it was just caught a blade of really long extreme grass.
Yeah, just lost traction, then went up shifting through the gears on corner exit from there. Slid onto the grass and it was on from there. But in terms of how he went to airborne, I'm not too sure in that sense.
Yeah,
I think that's a question for someone else who's more well versed on this game than I am. But yeah, he's down there still in P17 and actually 2.7 back from the two McLarens. So away from the tail now, from one of the end of the train to the other, and JB's been reeled back in by the Sauber of HB Cook, who still sits in that top spot. JB wants to start with the points as Grumio rejoins in P10, about a second behind Websy and his little train leading up to AT, his teammate. AT can do a great job for here by by sort of holding these guys up so his teammate can make some easier passes if possible to try and get himself to not lose too much time to the cars behind. As in comes, I thought one of them was spitting, not to be. Williams now running 1 and 3 in this race. Pope now inherits that third spot. Emery 4th and Huff in 5th, but Huff's fallen away a bit more now.
I'm seeing a traction difference between Websy and Buddy Grumio. Websy nearly sized up and moved. At turn 13 that was. What bizarre. You don't often see moves there, but he made it stick.
So Grumio then making it work and up into the 9th spot, make that the 8th spot, as now obviously his team at AT pitting. Huff, same thing. Looking like it's hard tyres for Huff. What about AT? That's hard tyres for him too, I think. Yes, it is. So change being made. He's away. So both Huff
Can't see them do 51 laps.
Sorry, go on. I'll cut you off.
I can't. It's alright. I can't see them making 51 laps on a set tire. Is Grumio going to try around the outside of turn 4? TJ's could be dicey. No, TJ's. Yeah, I think TJ slightly lifted on that one. Didn't want to risk it. And why would you?
Fair enough. I dare say Grumio is not TJ's race at the minute. Up front though, it's still Cheyenne Dan. It's 10 seconds from there back to Pope in P3. It's 11 seconds from him reach the lead. Grumio is 20 seconds back. So I wonder if he does perhaps come out in front after the pit stops here, depending on when these guys stop. I mean, the pit lane isn't overly long here at the Hungary ring, so I doubt they'll lose a ton of time, but he may come out right behind, if not right in front of them. His pace of the pit stops will be crucial here, and it might be what gives him the race lead. He's only 19 back.
Okay, Huff literally pushing JB through.
Well, Huff's in no mood to compromise here to make his way through turn number 12 and gets in front into 9th place. JB running in 10th now thanks to AT's pit stop. We'll see if there are any takers from the train this time round. And looks like there's one. 10th cannon for Racing Bulls comes in.
Indeed they do. Likely to stop race from now.
Yeah, I have to think, especially for these medium tyre runs, I have to think so. The hard tyres, I'm not too sure as to how long they'll go. Obviously, look at drivers like Pope, Ericsson, and Websy. But in terms of the hard tyre runners now, on the fresh hards, I can see them going another sort of 30, 40 laps from there, and then the medium tyres running those to the end. It'd be interesting to see. In terms of, I mean, whether we get a safety car or not, I could play into it, especially around this sort of time of the race. Actually, I might ruin it saying that. Yeah, I mean, the window gets a bit more interesting when there's a safety car involved, perhaps out of sequence. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully it's one to hopefully bunch everybody back up, because at the moment I've literally got like 3 different races happening.
Well, at the head of those races, it's still Che, who leads over Dan, but those guys still separated by less than a second, as they have been for the entirety of this run so far. Webbsy into P7 side by side with Curtis here, looking for that spot. Both cars side by side into turn 12. They're going to have to again. Webbsy's got damage on his left end plate, so it might hinder him a little bit here, but Curtis stays in front. In comes Webbsy now to get out changed.
Yeah, I wonder just how much time that would have cost Webbsy, if indeed where he got it.
But I suppose I have to whatever though for the time being. But for now, here he comes. Ethan in 2.
Just get this from wind change.
Yep, wind change in for Webbsy, and hard tyres on that car as well. And Webbsy will be away in a matter of seconds. There he goes. And see Ethan making his change job, obviously emerging a lot closer to the Aston Martin than it was when he came in, thanks to that wing change for Webbsy. So we'll see here how things play out for both cars in their races from here on out.
Yeah, indeed we will. So I realised that there's not much happening on track, and I'm trying to think of something. It's just not coming to me.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, these races are long. These races are a challenge. I'd say as much a challenge for us to commentate as they are for these guys to drive. So I have to wait and see as to should something pop up at some point in the Grand Prix. That VSC, perhaps the most exciting part of the race thus far, with that crash with Obsessed on the first lap. Grumio is currently 5 seconds back from Imrie. They make that 4.5. And he's 14 seconds off the leaders here. So, I mean, I dare say he may well end up even getting within sort of 10 seconds of these guys before they even make their stops. So, Grumio's pace with the pit stops is doing him a world of good as of right now, as he runs in that 5th spot by himself. TJ has got Curtis half right behind him. TJ, a long way in front, but half in front of Curtis now into turn 1. Both, I mean, half on 3-lap hold hard tyres, but Curtis on 22-lap hold mediums. There's only ever one winner there, isn't there?
Yes, indeed there is, as AT also passes over.
AT on the equally same twisting the hard tyres. HB Cook challenging JB. That's 2 medium tyre runners on their same tyres since the start, but JB still staying in front and doing a wonderful job as it stands right now, albeit likely a net, or currently in the points, but will likely end up outside of them when the pit stops are completed. Have to wait and see what the true order is when everyone makes their first stop of this Grand Prix. There are your stoppers so far in this race. Only 7 of them from our 19 cars still running. In terms of position change, as it stands right now, the driver getting the most places currently sits to be HB Cook, who's up 6. Well, obviously that plays into the pit stops as well. And the driver has lost the most being 10th Cannon, down 8 spots. From P8 in the starting grid down to 16th, of course, she has made her stop already as well.
Yes, so,
Oh. In come both the leaders.
Wow. Yes, indeed they do. They had to try something because they weren't pulling away, and Grumio were catching it right not. That's a bit of a sender now from AT. Cook.
And Grumio storms in front of both the two now former race leaders on those hard tyres, but I mean it's looking like a 7-second gap between Jay and Grumio at the minute. So Grumio has worked quite nicely here, and only has to get around Imrie and Pope to take the lead of the Grand Prix outright. Yellow flag, and that is one of the Alpines off. That is Ethan down at turn 13.
Yes, and Ethan is only just pit as well.
Keeps the car rolling, but those tyres are probably a fair bit warmer than they already were.
How do you compare? Am I just making
Yes.
Yes.
So Pope then, now you're race leader, but for how long? Because Imrie's 2 seconds back and Grumio's right on his tail. Has to make the way through turn number 11 here, and towards that last sector where things went wrong earlier on. Into turn 12. And I imagine that Grumio will be setting up for a run here down the main straight towards turn 1. Unless he gets to the right ears into the last corner.
Near enough, literally pushing the Keats Albert through that penultimate corner.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm guessing you've seen NASCAR at some point, right? That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
There goes Grumio. Imrie can try as he might, but there's no stopping that force towards that first corner. Move Grumio into second place. But Imrie, can he try and hold him a little bit? Can't quite do that.
Bit wide. Pulled off the move though. Yeah, Grumio just went a tad wide at turn 1. Sorry to interrupt there.
All good, but he's gone wide again at turn 2, to be fair, so I see your point. TJ in the pits making a change, hard tyres on, nothing much interesting going on in that sense. Ethan with a penalty. There's your 4th driver to get one tonight. And that is both Alpines ending up with a penalty now, one each. TJ now merging in the top spot. I think that 13th as PJ may get around him into that first turn. Yes, he does. Actually, I mean, they're side by side saying that. on corner exit though. PJ gets out in front, and behind them it's Ted Cannon in P14 still. JB gets pit, but still running in P9. The next car who has made a stop will be, to him will be PJ, who currently runs in P12, 3 spots back, about 4 or 5 seconds behind him for now. And Grumio now just 1 second off of Pope. And look at that. I mean, Grumio has caught Pope having made a pit stop already.
Mental. Just shows the grip difference between the mediums and the hards when they are worn. I mean, it's just taken 4/10 out of him just like that.
And I dare say we could see a lead change. There it is, fastest lap, 1:19.3 on the board for your reigning champion, who goes to the inside of Pope into the first corner. But Che and Dan equally going fastest lap each. So the race perhaps not over yet in that sense. I mean, the gap between them right now is 5.6 seconds from Grumio to Che. So actually, those two have closed in. Those two are actually going faster than Grumio, but may well have a bit more trouble here getting around Imri and Pope, unless they both pit this lap. Imri goes wide there. Actually, so let them both go. So there we are.
How far wide did we actually get?
Just sort of to the outside of the race tracker off the line, going through turn 2.
Oh, right, fair enough. Fair enough. Just watching about further down between Cook, JB and Ericsson. Bit of a battle, up there. Finally, the kickstart gets past the RB. It's been coming for a few laps now.
I mean, he's been waiting there, sort of waiting patiently behind the racing bullets. I mean, you don't want to do too much in Formula 1. As Ericsson waits to try and pick up any scraps behind. Of course, he's yet to pit too. TJ has made his stop and he is closing on this trio. Behind him, PJ and 10th have both made their stops as well. And Websy, Ethan, Alvar and DJ. And Courtney Goblin and P19 now pitting. So, majority of cars have come in now. And it's wing change for Courtney as well.
Right, okay. Yeah, that explains the performance loss in that Ferrari.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, he's a lap behind now. Both Grumio, Che and Dan from a lap down. And those guys still closing that gap. The gap now 4.8 seconds to the lead car. So it's not looking like it's over yet, as both Pope and Imri pitting. Imri ins, hard tightening on that car. Mediums for Pope. So he's going with the opposite tyre second stint. But I think we'll probably see him go to one more set medium towards the end, depends on how long he make these ones last. That'll be the question.
Yep, I am asking the same question as you.
We like asking questions, don't we? The questions are alright.
Yeah.
AT still in front of Curtis for the time being. Curtis, one of those cars yet to stop. So only 4 of them still left in the Grand Prix. They can get to the next pit stop. It's Ericsson, Curtis, HB Cook, and Curtis.
So JB went miles wide, had a bit of a scream coming out of turn 1, and now the Red Bull is all over the back of him. Is the Red Bull going to try inside? Interesting move into turn 4? Indeed, he is, Goes wide.
And JB might take advantage on the outside. Can't quite do it. You saw PJ trying to sneak in too. He couldn't do it either. So TJ around without too much fuss. And now 1.7 behind HB Cook, who of course himself hasn't stopped in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, nearly runs into the back of the RB 10th there, Websy.
JB back in front. TJ back in front. Back behind JB now. Whether it will for a legal overtake perhaps.
Yep, as Dan does eventually pass Che for the lead.
I think it's too late in that sense. They're now racing for P2 as Grumio sits 4.3 in front. You see him there pulling away in the distance. He's commanding this race now as we near the second half of the Grand Prix. Imri making the pass on Curtis towards turn 1. He's currently running in P7. It's 2 seconds to AT in front of him. And JB now pitting. So now 3 cars left to make stops in this race.
Yep, I think everyone between now and the checker flag will have to stop once, even if you are the likes of JB and everyone who's pit.
Which made those tyres last a fair amount of time, to be honest. So he's done all right there, especially given those medium tyres. So he's gone. I mean, only Curtis and HB Cook have gone longer on medium tyres than that in this race. We'll see how Pope does. Pope's obviously on the. He's now on the faster tyre. He's 8.2 back from half in P4. Half's doing a fantastic job. It's been quiet since the battling with Pope and Imri, but obviously he pitted earlier on, so it's looking good for half as it stands right now. Dan sets the fastest lap. 3.8 seconds is now checking back around him, and that fight now begins between those two. But they can't fight too much, or else there's more time to Grumio, who's there, go down towards turn 2 as it stands right now, in complete control of this race. But for how long? Also, let's not forget he's got a penalty too.
Yes, indeed he has. How much will that cost Grumio at the end of the race?
Well, 3 seconds right now. We'll have to see that later on how he stacks up. Imri now has the fastest lap. And it's on the tail of AT going towards turn 1. Makes his move to the inside. There he goes. And sends the car in. AT tries to switch back on corner exit. Can he try and do it? He might be able to have a go, you know. Down towards turn 2. They're side by side.
Let's give it a squeeze.
Squeeze close. I mean, there wasn't even close to contact. There was contact, but both cars come away unscathed. And Imri comes over with P6.
Indeed, as we start to see move further back as well, that is PJ overtaking Cook.
And that'll be good news for Alpine. Let's not forget, because meanwhile PJ has that penalty to think about. Means Alpine take the 1 point over Aston Martin for now, but Websy is still in play to try to take P10 back. He's made his stop. Hasty Cook hasn't, and Cannon making the pass around the outside there, and that'll put her in a net 10th place when PJ's penalty gets taken off, which means her point score streak can start again.
Yep, there's no Aston Martin up the inside of the Kicksauber, and I think those Kicksauber tyres had now died.
So HB Cook then, after doing 28 laps of those medium tyres, might be time to bring those things in and go for something else. Perhaps the hard tyres. If he can, I reckon if he can make the medium tyres last 20 laps, he can definitely make the hard tyres last 40. What do you reckon?
It's still going to be a bit tight, I won't lie, but who knows. Hungary is a literal oven for tyres. Does he take my advice? No, he stays out yet another lap. Despite being quite slow.
He clearly still feels comfort in that situation as it stands right now. Ethan now making the pass on him on corner exit with DRS in play. So there goes the Alpine in front of the Sauber towards turn 1. Websy in P12 is pulled away from these guys. He's more focused on trying to take on 10th and PJ in front. It's TJ in P9, about 2 seconds in front of that squabble. It's another 5 to Curtis in front of him. It's another 8 to AT. Another 2 to Imri in P6. Pope, Huff, Dan, Che, and Grumio in ascending order, top 5 there. As Grumio now only 2.4 in front of Che and Dan, who have been so far the stronger cars in terms of tyres and in terms of pace in his second stint. So I doubt it will be too long before we see him fight for the lead again.
Yeah, that gap's going down at a rate of naught. Just thinking, are these two actually going to start helping each other out with the likes of DRS chains to see if they can gain on Grumio just a bit more?
And they're doing a fair job so far. I mean, obviously their tyres are 5 laps fresher than Grumio's to begin with, as we are on lap 31 now this Grand Prix, nearing the halfway mark. Still a long way to go though, and Grumio's controlled things, and I wonder with his pace through the pit stops, we may see him do this again at some point later on in the Grand Prix. Curtis now makes his stop, leaving only HB Cook and Ericsson still on the racetrack in terms of stopping cars. HB Cook stays out, Ericsson same thing.
Yeah, as Curtis enters the box, is this his second stop now?
First of the race for him, hard tyres are on.
Good job you're here, Zach.
Sorry, pardon?
Good job you're here.
Yeah, I see all the stuff here on my spectator menu. I love using it. It's my favourite thing. And it also tells me in terms of penalties it stands right now. Still only those 5 drivers of penalties at the minute. Those drivers being Grumio, PJ, Ethan, Ericsson, and JB. And with that 3 seconds in play, Che and Dan are now both inside the windows trying to have the race lead back from them, unless they make mistakes there and get penalties of their own. So they are closing in still. Not so much fighting each other and more fighting the race leader. But I'll say this though, Dan's got a lot more battery than Che does. So when they do catch up and do get a race for the lead, I dare say there's a chance Dan might try and blast past both of them and take P1 for himself.
Indeed he might. Maybe Dan's aim as DJ picks up a penalty as well.
Penalty for DJ in the Aston Martin. He's running in P18 as it stands right now. He's had a tough race thus far. Both Astons now out of the points paying places. But PJ, that penalty will move Websy back in the top 10 coming into the race. Not to mention Huff as a reserve will move everyone up in terms of points.
Cook bits.
HB Cook finally after 30. He's done 31 laps on those tyres. Not bad at all. And we'll see him make a change at long last. So Ericsson, the last car, and Imri gets a penalty.
It's going to happen at some point, I won't lie. This track is not very forgiving on warnings, and you can pick them up absolutely everywhere.
I mean, the floodgates started to open a bit more earlier on in the race when we actually mentioned those penalties, especially for Grumio, as he got one He was the first car to get penalty in tonight's race. HP got rejoined in P17 here. Currently 3 seconds in front of DJ and about 10 seconds behind JB. So he's lost out big time in that fight. It's now Che and Dan are right with Grumio. And the fight may well get underway once again in terms of the race to that lead spot.
Yeah, right. And I hope it does as well to spice things up a bit.
Down the hill once again here through turns 2 and 3. We'll see whether there's any change for the race lead in the next few laps or so. But for now, it's all Grumio as it has been since the pit stops for the 2 cars behind. But they've managed to catch him in the same way he caught the race leaders earlier on. So these 3 evidently have pace. It's up to anyone else to see if they can try and compete.
It's amazing the fact that Grumio has turned off racing line and yet still managing to put in all these tyres. All these times when he thought considerably you're going to be well off his. I struggled to get my words out yet again.
I wonder perhaps if a lot of that comes down to experience with Grumio. Obviously, he's won 10 titles, but he's been here for a long time. In terms of his career starts, if I can get that stat up on my screen, obviously he's had a lot of race victories. He's got over 100 to his name in this league. But in terms of actual race starts for Grumio, we're looking at a total number of 311. Oh, there goes Che to the inside. That was very aggressive from the Williams driver, but make that work. Grumio tries the inside.
With more contact.
And all of a sudden, that got up to 11 very fast.
Oh, that was risky.
But it's worked though. Che now takes the lead.
Yep, indeed it has. The Grumio now back foot.
He can't rest on his laurels for long though, because Dan is there behind him, wanted to give chase, wanted to join in the fun himself. I mean, that was very, very gutsy from Che. But if there's anyone who we know can take the fight to Grumio and get away with it, it's Che.
Probably a warning. I've just seen Grumio launch himself over that curve, so I'm just going to go and check to see if he got warned. Apparently not.
Obviously, there's one driver in those 3 who can't afford another warning. It is Grumio, so I wouldn't blame him for being a bit more careful. But at the same time, he wants that race lead back. But at the minute, I'd say it's not really his race to lose right now. It's the yellow flag that's put out for DJ, letting those guys go. Blue flags in effect for the Aston Martin. Green flags all cleared back up again. All okay. Huff still there in P4, but Pope is 3.3 behind him and bearing down them quite quickly here.
Yeah, we can make battle for 4th.
And Emery
seems to be docking a bit.
Emery about 6.9 back for the time being, so he looks set in P6 for now. AT in P7, about 5 seconds behind.
Tell me what would be more boring, Zach. Being in the position TJ is in, or being in a DRS train and not being able to do anything?
I'd say being in the position that the AT is in, because there is literally no one around you. I'd say having, if you were a part of that train we saw that was being headed by DJ, then I mean I'd say you've got to keep your wits about you a lot more in that, because anyone could try and go for a move, but I mean there's less chance of it. But when there's cars around you, they're definitely more likely to make a move than they are when they're nowhere near you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it would also be incredibly boring if you had no cars around you, just like AT has.
Well, here's a move for you. There's 10th Cannon and PJ going side by side in the race for the 9th spot. 10th is pulling in front, going down towards turn 2. PJ on the outside though, not backing out just yet. Another car giving an inch, so make the way out of turn 3.
May well,
contact made, but 10th hangs on to it.
Good move.
Good move from 10th indeed.
Yeah, 10th is up to 9th. From 10th.
Right. Into turn number 5. Obviously, turn 5 has always been a danger point in terms of this circuit in recent games.
Don't talk to me about turn 5.
No, no, we're going to talk about turn 5. It's got to happen.
I have bad memories from maybe either last season or the season before.
You've got bad memories here from both circuits. What's the difference?
I've just got bad memories here and bloody everywhere. That lap 1, ruined my race, broke me from wing, and now we're about it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you don't have flashbacks, I'll give you flashbacks.
Cheers, Zach.
Let's give you a more positive flashback. Last week it was while we're sort of in this point of the race where there's not a ton going on, save for this fight, as Obsessed disconnects from the session after retiring about 35 laps ago. It was Pancake Day last Tuesday. Did you partake in any pancakes at all?
No, we did not, albeit we had them on Friday night. The only good flashback around here, oh yeah, with I'd probably say Portugal, and even that was a bit of a frustrating race, I won't lie, because I felt like I could have won that race.
That was a long time ago, that race in Portugal. Long time.
Yes, indeed it were. Back in the good old days.
The good old days.
Oh, Dan making a move on Grimio now.
And there goes Dan up into the second spot once again. So Grimio dropping back here, and now definitely guaranteed in third place as it stands projected for the minute if he doesn't get a move on. But speaking of getting a move on, Che is sort of put himself back in front. So normal service is restored then for the long-time race leader in the early part of the Grand Prix. Obviously Che was leading for the first sort of 20 laps or so, made a stop, and from here 13 laps later is now in front and will look to lead the majority of this second stint for the rest of the second stint until we see one more tyre change. Then from there it'll be a case of, I mean, I'm guessing likely we may end up with the same sort of thing here in terms of Grimio going for the undercut and taking full advantage of obviously having fresh tyres to go full pace and take the lead from these guys, only for these two to come back at him in the late portion of the Grand Prix. So likely they'll all be on medium tyres for the end bend. So I've got to think, I mean, if you're Grimio and you've got to try and get around these two, what do you do strategy-wise?
You know, see, the problem is Grimio is kind of stuck there now. He can't pit now because then that's a very interesting move from Wednesday on PJ. On the inside of turn 2, may have to pull off on the outside of turn 3 and then down for turn 4.
Up the hill, PJ stays in front narrowly. That was close though.
Yeah, very close indeed. Yeah, Grimio's in a bit of a tight situation with him pitting slightly earlier. He's also limited on ERS, so if he is going to finish this race on medium, then he's got probably another 10 laps or so. 10-15 laps before he may need to consider pitting. If indeed he has gone harder on the allocation, I'll give him another set of hards, and in which case he'll probably be just fine.
So all comes down to those last sets of tyres, and of course we could see something happen later on this Grand Prix. We could see a safety car soon that could try and sort of switch things up in that sense. But it'll be interesting. But everyone's kept it nice and clean so far today, save for the minutes on the first lap with Obsessed, and they obviously got us a VSC. But I imagine and the next instant could be a full course caution. I have to wait and see. I'm not entirely sure as to if it was ending here because everyone's quite split up at this point. The closest pack is probably this race with P10, PJ, Webbsy, and Ethan. And Webbsy looking around trying to make a move but can't do it for now. But PJ obviously with that penalty, same sort of thing there. This is still obviously a direct fight for Aston Martin to get themselves up into to maintain P7 in the constructors. This is Alpine's chance to try and go ahead as DJ gets a penalty. That's his second in the evening. First car to get 2 penalties in this race. And everyone else keeping it nice and tidy behind. As Dan not really pulling away much from Grimio here. Grimio's still in DRS range, but not a lot of change in terms of position. No battles on show there.
Yeah, it's a fairly spread out grid now, obviously. The real main battle is 10th, 11th and 12th. But other than that, everybody's kind of built themselves a bit of a gap, other than Grimio, who is still sticking with Dan.
Nothing doing in terms of making a move there for the time being. We'll see on the main straight next time round. There's a change on that front, but for now PJ is commanding P10 by half a second to Webbsy. Ethan's still third in that little train. Make that P12 in your running order. Curtis from there trying to catch up to them. I mean, Curtis was up in the top 10 earlier on the Grand Prix. Yellow flag. Oh, there we go. Yellow flag. It's now full course. It looks like another VSC.
Who was it?
I'm not sure who for though.
Don't know.
I can see a McLaren limping back to the pit lane here.
McLaren Alva. Who was it?
If I had to guess, it might have been Alba. I'm not too sure. I mean, there's no puncture in that
I
car.
found the culprit.
Go on.
DJ.
Oh, there we go. Right, well, there is your answer. Front wing lost on that Aston Martin, which should be a second pit stop with the Grand Prix for DJ, and that compounds an already tough evening for him so far. And that scoreless streak looks to continue on for a bit longer as both Che and Grimio pit. But Dan stays out.
Right. This is going to spice things up on the restart.
Things get a bit more interesting here as Dan will be by himself and be back on the way. But could this be a free stop here for both Che and Grimio? Well, it is a free stop, but is it a beneficial stop for both of them? Both cars away. And then now, I mean, Chase got onto medium tyres. That could be more of a risk here. I doubt he can go 30 clean laps on mediums, but Grumio going to go 30 laps on hards. That might be the idea that wins the race for him. You never know. But both cars now merging about 13 seconds back from Dan in P1. Pope pitting, Huff pitting. Imrie stays out. So different strategies here amongst the top 6 as green flag gets back underway. Imrie up to P4 now, but currently we'll have Huff and Pope on fresh tyres, bearing down on him shortly, I should think. And Dan now by himself in front.
Yes, indeed. I generally thought they were a full course caution and a full safety car, but apparently not. But I'm sure the next incident, if indeed we do get another incident, will be.
Can't speak. I think we would have seen a bit more of a madder dash to the pit lane had that been the case. But I mean that's quite mad as it is. Those sort of 4 of the top 6 are pitted here for a fresh rubber. Che though on medium tyres, is that a choice that could work in his favour at all, Ben? What do you reckon?
Well, took his tyres 32 laps before pitting. So it came out a bit of a bad time for him, won't I? And he'd been out on those hards 8 laps. But at the same time, what did he do? I don't know. I don't know what the best situation is for Jay at the minute. Only time will tell.
It's definitely an unorthodox point at the Grand Prix to be making changes to strategy, but that's what a VSC can do sometimes, especially when these three have been as close together as they have been over the course of this race. But Dan, though, now by himself by a good 10 seconds, but we'll see how quickly Che and Grumio close their gap, and we'll see if Grumio can actually try and challenge Che. He's now 2.5 behind, which is the furthest back he's been from these guys in terms of raw on-track stuff. I mean, we won't count the gaps Dan in this case because obviously Dan didn't stop. But in terms of these two cars will be on the same strategy, this is the furthest apart they've been in this Grand Prix. So Che looking much faster than Grumio here. I wonder perhaps if Grumio isn't quite with it at the minute. I mean, obviously he's been out there doing fantastically now. Obviously he's led the race for a good portion, but it doesn't seem like his race to win, if I'm being entirely truthful.
Yeah, it's not exactly commanding his way out in front, is he? He's got a bit of a job to do.
But I mean, if anyone lacks a job, then it's Grumio. So we'll see what he's got. Plenty of experience, 311 starts in this league, 140 victories. Another yellow flag there, and that is clear quickly. So it looks like a just a lap car. Che goes for fastest lap, so pace is clearly there for Che on those medium tyres. He's 9 seconds back from Dan now, so the gap is closing at a rate of knots here. Dan goes down towards turn 2. Che is leaving turn 1, and as it stands for Imrie, as it stands, he's got 5.7 back to Huff. It's another 2.2 to Pope in P6. So those two will be trying to close on him sooner rather than later, as Imrie will likely need to make another stop in this Grand Prix. I mean, he's done 15 laps on those hard tyres. I think he pitted on lap 27, and I doubt he can go to the end of those things. It'd be a big ask.
It is an ask, yes. As Grumio just go wide another time at turn 4.
Keeps the car rolling though, that's the main thing. Obviously no damage done to that Sauber. It's been a bit difficult race for Imrie. Obviously he started in P2, didn't have the best of starts overall. Obviously almost got swallowed up completely by both Grumio and Dan from row 2 on the getaway, going down towards that first corner. Managed to come out away from both of them. Another yellow flag, so McLaren going slowly back towards one of the Ericsson slow. Moving down to
what in the hash through.
Ah, okay, right, there you go. So Grumio there. Still chasing Che. 6.9 now to Dan. Fastest lap again, 118.030.
It's a ridiculously fast lap to stay in a race.
I mean, the fastest lap that doesn't belong to Che is Imrie's, which is 118.4. Dan's best lap of 118.6. Grumio's best lap of 118.5. So Che is really getting to work here. He is hauling big time. He's 6.5 behind now, so he's closing the gap. We'll see if that gap looks like when he crosses the line next time round. But Dan, I imagine, is aware of the threat that exists behind him.
Yeah, but the issue that Che's got is the fact that if he does take those tyres right to the end, he will be driving on ice, essentially.
Especially given how hard he's pushing these things at the minute. That's the other thing.
Yeah. May needs to reel it back a bit just to make sure he just get to the end of the race.
But At the same time, I'm going to try and pull away from Grumio. Should he try and close in later on? Is Grumio saving tyres, or is he also going full beans? That's the question. We'll keep an eye on his lap time when he crosses the line next time round to get an idea as to what sort of pace he's trying to set, trying to catch up. As Dan comes in now, and this will likely be Dan's final stop. I should think another set of hard tyres from here will be enough. I shouldn't think mediums will do it.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
He's gone to medium.
He's a set medium.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay. So Grumio is now the outlier.
Things change quickly, don't they?
Yep, that is Formula 1.
Don't you just love it? Imri also into the pit lane here. He's making his change, so Huff and Pope will come back out in front of him. But what does Imri do? Does he go for mediums too? Or does he play it safe, go for softs?
I got medium.
No, softs? Go for hard, sorry.
Softs?
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, it's another set of medium.
Medium tyres on.
I
I didn't mean soft. I was thinking.
know.
I don't know.
I know. We all have these moments, don't we, Zach?
Yep. I mean, I was doing this for years. I still have them, so.
It's alright, don't worry.
Or
No stress as AT comes into pits.
So we're going to start seeing some more changes. I think these hard tyres will actually be sort of nearing the end of their runs that everyone put on onto. We seeing PJ Pitt as well. Hard tyres like going off that car and putting on something else. What's he do? It's another set of hard. So he's going for another set as is AT. So those guys making changes.
I think it depends on the allocation, whether you chose hard or medium, or balance, should I say, on the allocation when you first load up into qualifying.
Yeah, it can play into it. I mean, again, it's one of those things that we don't really see as commentators. We've just got to assume based on the tyres they pull out that that's what they got. I mean, part of it is sort of that's interesting in that sense, but at the same time, it's also not because I'd like to know what they've got left.
Yeah, same here.
I wonder perhaps if that's too much information for the world to handle.
No, I don't think so.
Well, maybe on F127 they'll listen to us in that sense.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, back in the day, I used to get as a commentator, as a spectator, I used to get an actual timer for the countdown for the when these guys are running up. I don't get that anymore. I've just got to take it as it comes.
Yeah, we'll just get straight into showing to formation now, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we've just got to sort of time it. I mean, we do alright, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yellow flag.
Yellow
Car
flag.
around. That is that is half around. Half
Oh,
at turn
no.
5. Well, the exit at turn 5 has been.
He's done what I've done. And then he cuts the corner. Well, he's broken his front wing.
Oh, I mean, he would have tagged that inside ball without a doubt. So I'm unsurprised. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Huff has been fantastic these first 45 laps or so of this race. But I mean, this is his first sort of, save for that lockup earlier on when he was fighting Imri. This is his first sort of proper moment of this race.
This is the problem with, well, I say this is the problem. It's not really a problem. It's more of a test of the driver's concentration and focus. We start to see a few more errors creeping in as he goes right again.
I mean, yeah, normally by this point the race would have been over about 10 laps ago on a normal week, but this is no normal week. This is RDL 100%, which we do enjoy greatly.
Yes.
Half into the pit lane now.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, he's out.
I mean, he's out. Oh, he's out. Right, okay.
So obviously
it's a very bizarre call from Huff, that. Because Huff would have been, what, P7?
Perhaps even P8, P9, not too sure there. But regardless, I mean, he doesn't score points. I suppose he just wanted a good run around in that sense. But yeah, tough day, tough way to end things for him, especially after he's had such a good run today.
Oh, whoa! Wow.
What are we seeing?
Yeah, AT just absolutely sent it on the inside of Wednesday. Wednesday got him back on the switchback. That was ridiculous.
Wednesday down the outside.
Wow.
Oh, 80 on the outside, sorry, being inside now. They're close to contact. Oh, that's tight.
Oh, that's a right battle. I just got to it right the second. He went for a right send.
Was it better than Chase send at turn 1 in the grass earlier?
Well, it's probably on par with. It's definitely on par with Verstappen's send on Hamilton back in 2024.
I mean that's ended in contact, so I mean, I'm not sure that's...
Yes, but this one did not, so he kept it clean, fair play to him, but he's lost the position as a result.
Those two got history in Hungary, haven't they? Lewis and Max.
Yeah, well, I think they've got a history absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
They don't like each other.
Oh, got around.
Oh,
Down
nobody else.
around. Turn 5.
It's Mercedes. It's Dan.
He's recovered
Oh,
it.
no.
He's recovered it
Unless he
without
dropped it on turn 4.
might do a dampener on his charge. But he's
No
away.
damage.
Yeah, it's
No
just
damage.
a
I
skid.
wonder if he's done. He's not done a Latifi or Perez, has he? When he's caught the grass.
No, he's alright, he's alright. Good man is Dan. He carries on. But still there in third place, just now 15 seconds back to Grumio. Che by himself here, commanding things.
Nobody else.
And that's another car. That's Connie slow. He has
Yeah, Connie's quite
to get that
everybody
fixed at some point.
Yeah, Connie, I think we're just letting everybody out. Is now DJ's going as well. I let Connie repass. Okay, right, okay. Odd.
Yeah,
Anyway, moving on.
I dare say that DJ is the only person who hasn't put a lap on Connie just yet.
Yeah, like to agree. Like to agree, but at the same time, it's just been one to forget for DJ, and JB picks up his time penalty as well.
That's JB second in the evening. Remember, Grumio still got his penalty to think about. Well, let's not forget that. But I dare say we may see him try and close in at some stage and then pull 3 seconds. He's 4.3 behind Che as of right now. Those guys obviously on the same trajectory in terms of stint length, with different tyres in play for them. So we'll see if Che gets a drop off with about 10 laps to go, and we'll see from there where Grumio comes in. Because Grumio
Courtney stays out.
He's still going for it. I mean,
right.
To be fair, I think he's been with that wing damage for quite a while, so I'd say he's pretty
Oh,
much right.
Right, fair enough.
But DJ gets through, and up into P17 goes the Aston Martin. Webbsy's still in P10 there, which is obviously 1 point going Aston Martin's way to move them again clear of Alpine. Alpine down P14, P15 here. It's been a difficult race for them overall, I'd say. And,
yeah, I'd say so. Difficult race for Alpine after initially looking fairly strong.
They just spent a lot of time stuck in that train, didn't they?
Yeah. Got stuck in that train, the runner mate, the most in pit stops, and then I think they both had a couple of incidents here and there.
I'll tell you what, I've got my eye on JB here running in P11. With half out the race, there's no longer is there a promotion of places for anyone with Huff down the order in terms of out the points. Everyone in the top 10 is a full-time driver and will be awarded standard points in that sense. JB currently 10 seconds behind Webbsy as it stands right now, with 2 penalties to think about too. He need another retirement in that top 10 to get some points in. But he's still got the Sauber pace behind him too. Not much separating them either.
Yes. It must be so and then you just see the likes of TJ and Imre, who are literally running on their own.
In comes JB now.
Really? Oh yeah, JB into the pits.
Change been made then. And we'll see what he goes on to. He's on those hard tyres for 21 laps, which is a fair length. TJ's been on those hards for 24.
TJ and Courtney are having their own little fight. Have they gotten that bored to the point where they're fighting with each other?
Yeah, I don't blame him. Scraps are scrap. Some of the more entertaining scraps I've seen in my life have been for the last places in the running order. So I won't put anything past him.
Yeah, fair enough.
But DJ wins out for now. And Courtney in behind. We'll see if DJ pulls away, which he is currently doing, or whether he lets Courtney back into the DRS. Che still 4.5 in front of Grumio now. He's 20 more laps away from another victory this season. So Grumio will be there and waiting, but we'll need to clear the 2 Alpines first. As Che is there, currently seeking, I believe, seeking his second win of the season. His first one coming in Miami earlier on this campaign.
Exactly. Che has got a heap of traffic to get past. A heap of it.
TJ now pitting, so medium tyres on for that race car. Should take him to the end of the Grand Prix without too much fuss. There goes the Red Bull. He'll most likely just outside of the points, I should think. HB Cook in that train, which is sort of reaching Courtney and DJ now. And here comes the Sauber down towards turn 1. But TJ narrowly gets out in front and emerges just behind Webbsy. So the fight begins between those two now. And Webbsy, never mind. Webbsy pulling over. And no, that is that is DJ. Never mind. Webbsy is further down the road. There we go.
Yep, don't know really what's going off here. DJ got it, almost looked to give it up.
So they're probably just sort of letting cars go at this point.
I just feel really bad for them because they're a minute behind. They've got no chance of catching. They've been lapped. And there's just nothing that they can do. There's no yellow in sector 1.
Are you trying to jinx a safety car, Benjamin?
Oh, I think a safety car would spice things up.
Okay, I mean, just making sure you're not sort of using the commentator's curse for evil as all.
No, definitely not.
Alright, I trust you, But I mean, in the meantime, though, there is still 19 laps to go, so plenty of time there to get a safety car. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just watching everybody losing to me, and then it was JB. He did catch it, to be fair. But what is it with me and just catching all near misses?
I feel like you and Tyres have a way with each other that no one else can really understand.
Don't talk to me about tires. They just do my head in.
Alright. I mean, unfortunately, I have to. It's got any goblins coming in to changes.
But both in real life and in F1, they just do my head in.
And the wings are being fixed too. There we go. So change for Courtney Goblin.
Fair enough.
And medium tyres are on.
Fair enough. Yeah, me and Tyres do not like each other, and well, I think I'd be better off driving on them biscuit tins they're called.
I must say, I've never heard anyone refer to them as biscuit tins before. That's the first.
I believe it's a biscuit tin, isn't it? We Martin Bundle referred to it back in Australia when Max Verstappen retired from the race.
To be fair, that was like 4 in the morning. I was probably half asleep.
Hey, talking about Australia, you're getting up for the season opener.
Yeah, of course I am.
Nice.
I
didn't bother, and last time it was carnage.
To be fair, I did wake up a few minutes late, and I sort of joined the action under that first safety car. I think doing it just crashed, and I had no idea who it was. I thought it was I knew it was one of the Alpines. I didn't realise it was doing until like a minute later.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, I mean, it turns back on the focus at hand. HP Cook being challenged by Alvar here. The McLaren, or one of the McLarens is coming to the order a bit more here, and Alvar is chasing a points-paying finish if he can get one out of this. But obviously, Che is also navigating these guys actively as we speak. He's going to get past the Sauber, and Grumio is going through turn 3. The gap now 3.8 seconds at the moment, so he's closed in a little bit, but it's not enough as of right now. But is this a start of perhaps Che's tyres starting to wear slightly thinner, and Grumio starting to hit his stride with his tyres?
Well, I don't know. I think Grumio's got a lot more of the traffic to work through than Che at the minute. Che's got a bit of a group of cars between the driving first, driving second. So you can slowly but surely tell that I'm probably getting a bit tired.
Yeah, I mean, these races require endurance from everyone involved. So Che, as you say, has navigated the latch cars for now. His next target will be TJ in P10, who's coming around the last corner now. Grimmir's got to still get through 4 of them, but likely they should let him go that so much faster when he catches them. The only question is when will that be? Because if the gap's going back up again to 3.7 seconds now, because Che can sort of pull away some fresh air and focus on keeping his tyres cool, focus on keeping them in temperature, and from there just work towards win number 2 of this campaign.
Aye. Wouldn't that be a great win? Wouldn't that be a great win for Che?
Fantastic for him, if I do say so myself. Che is just sort of there and waiting for the win to come home. He's about 16.5 laps away from doing it. Grumio, though, the race isn't over yet because it's obviously a late change. A safety car could obviously bring everyone in for a set of soft tyres or a set of medium tyres to go fresh on, but that'll likely be the nail in the coffin in terms of Grumio's race because he needs to be away from everyone in that sense. I mean, Grumio, as it stands right now, will still finish in second place. Imri will still finish in 5th, and everyone behind them, save for JB. Actually, I think everyone will stay where they are, even with penalties for now, because everyone's quite split up in terms of that pack behind. Everyone in that pack is from P13 to P18 has got penalties, and then Grumio and Imri are by themselves.
Yeah.
Che
Bang on point what you said.
Say sorry?
Bang on point of what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, not to toot me on bugle, but I do tend to get things right here and there, despite popular belief. You see TJ making the pass on Webbsy there. TJ up into P9 now on those medium tyres, because made that stop a few laps ago. He's now got to think about making a move on 10th Cannon, and then to his teammate Curtis in front. This pack has sort of reformed again. 10th is still there in the points playing place. He's done a fantastic job. She's done 33 laps on those hard tyres. Well, I dare say she has to stop again before they get these things to the end. Webbsy, same thing. They've been on for 33 and 32 laps respectively. It can't be too long now before they make the stops. It can't be.
Yeah, it can't be. But at the same time, we all know 10th is the tyre whisper. They do like to whisper their tyres quite a lot, so we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they can get to the end.
You ought to ask her for lessons.
Cheers, Zach.
Oh, yellow flag.
Oh, yellow.
That's car going slow. That is Ericsson. That is letting the traffic through. That is a Pope in P4. Pope's had it quite quiet in this third stint. He's been by himself for quite a while here, and obviously half out the race. Imri's fallen away. Imri are on in terms of I'm not sure in terms of satisfaction how he'll be in terms of tyres in this race. I mean, I imagine if he gets in without a puncture, he'll be quite happy, but he's been on those tyres for 11 laps, so not really in that territory just yet. As TJ makes the pass on 10th into turn 1, he's now up behind his teammate again, Curtis, on those 24-lap old hard tyres. And there's not long to go. TJ is looking like P7 in this race. Another good score for Red Bull, and they'll likely close a bit on Sauber, only by a few points as TJ has blasted on through. Look at him, man. There's 10 seconds from TJ to AT. TJ's on 5-lap old medium tyres, and there's still 15 laps to go. Do you think he can catch him?
Yes.
Straight answer? I like it. Okay, so that'll be one to keep an eye out for. Keep an eye on TJ as he runs that Sunny Haze helmet into the second sector. And we'll see if he can catch AT now. He's got some clean air and clean running in front of him. Up front, the gap still 3.9 seconds from Grumio to Che, but crucially, Grumio has now cleared all of the lap traffic. So he's got another 14 laps from across the lines, chase Che down, and now he can go full blast on those tyres. But Che, though, if he can catch up to those lapped cars in front, the lapped cars of TJ, Curtis, 10th, and Webbsy, then he may be in a bit less trouble, because obviously Grumio will then need to close in as well. He'll need to close in and pass those cars, but those cars are a bit more split up. So there's your question. I think Chase should catch them in the last 13 laps, last 14 laps. Question is when.
Yeah, when, not if.
Yeah. Behind them, I mean that fight is long since ended. TJ is now 8.6 behind AT and 2.5 clear of his teammate. 10th Cannon is still threatening Curtis behind. Ericsson with a penalty there. That's his second of the evening. So now there's 5 cars with 6 seconds of penalties. Imri's got another one as well. 6 seconds for Imri, but he's still good. It's 27 seconds to AT, so should be okay there. And I doubt that TJ can catch him in this last portion of the Grand Prix, given that they're both in the second sector as it stands right now. And Imri's going to turn 1. 3.7 the gap now between Grumio and Che. Yellow flag again.
Yeah.
That's DJ slow, letting the Mercedes Dan go.
See, I always see yellow flag and immediately just draws the interest. Oh, he just got yet more from wing damage. He's been running that for a while.
I have to assume so.
Guessing so. As he goes miles wide.
And why they're exit at turn 9, but I think to be expected. Not as wide.
He goes wide again. I don't think DJ is looking for. I can't get words out. I think DJ is rather looking forward to the end of the race.
And he comes now, so he'll change that wing. That HP Cook passing Ethan here. Those two going side by side for P11. Last spot outside the point. It's only it's another 8 seconds to Webbsy. It's almost contact between the pair of them. Ethan falls out of favour. Ethan's got a penalty to think about too. So HP Cook is safe in that regard. He's got to focus on trying to reel in Webbsy. Webbsy's falling away from 10th now. 2 seconds to gap. Sorry, 1 second to gap. It's 2 from 10th to Curtis. PJ with another penalty. That will be his second of the night. And Courtney Goblin in front of DJ again. So those two may go back at it later on. As we see DJ back onto his worn set of hard tyres. That was his third stop of the race.
Zach.
Yes?
I don't know what's happened here, but I don't know what Content's doing. Content's pretty much, well, Content's low on fuel and we're 50% throttle, so I thought, no way. Content's run out of fuel already.
I dare say, no, I think he's okay. I think when it gets to the last few laps and there's a danger that he'll run out, that fuel light should turn red. The fact that it's yellow just means he's on the target, so he can probably get back if he saves fuel.
It's either that or Content was kindly waiting for DJ.
One of the two. We'll let them decide what that is.
Yeah.
Right, lap 59 then. Che is 11 laps from winning this thing, but Grumio's starting to close in. But at this point, Che has now caught the lap traffic. He's caught next to... Oh, there's a second penalty for Grumio there. And Grumio now has got it all to do.
I think that may just determine the race. I best just double check to see if Che's got any warnings. Indeed, he has one.
Che's got one warning then, so perhaps not as at risk in terms of penalties. But Grumio's now closing in 2.5 seconds to the gap. And the more Che stays behind these lap cars, the sooner he closes in.
Needs to go.
Well, there goes 10th backing out. And
that was smart from Wednesday, that. New 10th, we're going to back out. And just sail straight on through.
And Websy not adhering to those blue flags for the time being. Perhaps not the great. There is 10-second penalty for ignoring them.
That's karma.
I'd say that's fair there. Websy now pulls over, but with that now, Grumio almost within 2 seconds needs to get around 10th and Websy, and then needs to pass Che, and from there pull 6 seconds, which I think will be tough to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking out for the flags now.
Well, behind them, it's all going on. Ethan and HP Cook again going like I said, P11. Side by side, leaving turn 3 up the hill towards 4. They're dead even here. Someone's got back out.
It's tight.
No one's backing out. Oh, and there's a slide.
No one backed out. Oh.
Some yellow flag there. Someone had to give.
I don't think anyone could have done any better there.
I mean, Ethan lucky
no, just
away with the broken end plate there, but in behind his teammate.
Yeah.
JB there in P14, Alvar P13. PJ, HP Cook now by himself, has got to try and close that 5-second gap to 10th. And Grumio now clearing Websy in 10th. Websy wanting to try and avoid another 10-second penalty if he can. That'll cost him big time, I'd say, in this race. And that may well mean, potentially, I mean, if PJ can get himself close enough, get himself within 10 seconds, that might give a bit of a chance to him to try and get a point and put Alpine in front of Aston Martin in the race for P7. So that battle might not be over yet. Question mark?
It may not be.
We're saying that PJ.
We'll find out at the end of the race.
PJ still, he needs to get to within 4 seconds, I believe.
Yes. As Ethan does come in, changes up from wing, goes on, set us off, so be ready for a fast Alpine.
Oh, yellow! Safety car's out!
No way!
Oh! And there we are on lap 61. The race changes completely now.
The race has been turned on its head. Guru with 6 seconds could prove decisive.
Same thing for Imri. Websy, same thing now. And this race could change for a lot of drivers who perhaps out of the top 10. Ericsson's out the race. He's cornered there.
In the
Whether
pits.
it was him, I'm not too sure. But I didn't actually see what caused the safety car.
Yeah.
What do you do now, Ben? Ben, do you go for tyres?
Yes. Fresh off till the end.
Oh, I love this guy.
About an 8-lap shootout.
Oh, Pope, drive through. He's been caught for speeding under the safety car. And I dare say that Delta has caught him. Turn 5 is a nightmare for that sort of thing, so I'm not surprised.
Yes, I don't want to say it, but you do get 15 seconds to respect the Delta.
I mean, it's a difficult one, especially because it fluctuates so much.
Yes, indeed it does. So, I think the Delta does need sorting out for when F126 cars do get released.
I mean, I can't really say much on that. Che's in. Right, everyone's in.
See, everybody just wanted to stop under the safety car, apart from Pope for some reason. I know Pope has not made it to the pit lane yet.
Reach the pitch yet. Come
on, Blade. Work at some point.
Right then, so... Okay, so Grumio is still there 6 seconds, but the thing is, that might open up much more for him now, because we know how good Grumio is on a fresh set of tyres. And I dare say there's every chance he could try and pull 6 seconds. If he can get a good restart and take the lead from Che, it could happen. I'd say the race isn't over for him yet. This is Grumio we're talking about.
Yeah, but at the same time, Grumio's advantage has been cut short because Che's on the exact same tyre as Grumio. If anything, I'd say Grumio is more a disadvantage rather than the rest of the field.
I've said it all season that Grumio is a fantastic driver, but he's not Jesus. This is the moment for him to try and prove otherwise.
He is human.
I mean, as we saw in qualifying, yes, indeed. I mean, things won't go fantastically for a number of drivers here. I mean, obviously, the field will be quite shuffled up here at the minute. As Grumio goes a bit wide there and letting the lap cars go through, getting their wave around to pass the safety car, I believe. If not, there's a fair few cars in between Grumio and Che in that sense. There's about 4 or 5 cars.
DJ and Courtney have been waiting for this moment forever.
They get brought back into the order again. We're on lap 62 here. There's 8 laps to go as it stands right now. I should think we'll probably get about 6 laps of racing in. I imagine we'll probably go restart on lap 65.
Yeah, I'd like to think so with how far behind the last few stragglers are.
Well, it's been a long old race. If you're just joining us, you join us at a critical time in this Grand Prix as Che leads Grumio, who currently finds himself a number of cars behind there. He's currently 5 cars back from Che right now. Those cars all lap traffic. And Grumio's got to pass Che and gain 6 seconds to win this thing.
That's an ask. Even for Grumio, that is an ask.
I mean, down there in 3rd place, just behind Grumio, I'd love to try and take advantage and take 2nd place away. Pope has a drive-through now, so I say his race is likely done. Imri, all of a sudden, may fall down the order big time. He didn't want that safety car later on. AT's going to move up big time. TJ, same thing. Curtis, 10th. PJ's going to fall back a fair bit, I should think, as the field is sort of shuffling themselves around to an appropriate order here to get us back underway for what will be a very exciting restart at the very least. Oh, it's going to be a good one.
Right, so looks like Grumio has been able to clear the traffic. Please do not let this be a 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, everyone will be allowed to go on through, I should think.
Yes. There were some rule breaks in that race, weren't there, Zach?
Indeed, they were, but I mean, I'd say in this case there is considerably less on the line. Okay, both cars. Yes. Okay, both cars letting the Alpine of Ethan go. So I think all the lap cars are now going through, which is good. So
that nearly cost
so we're going to end up everyone together now.
Yeah, that nearly cost you a bit.
Ethan, 10 seconds, ignore a yellow flag.
Ow.
Slightly contentious that.
I'd love to know how, but at the same time,
I'm thinking for not passing the safety car, but I wonder if the game's slightly inconsistent on that. I dare say the stewards could have their work cut out for them in the late stage of this Grand Prix. So we get lap 64 of this one. But every lap that ticks on, that's a lap less that Grumio can use to try and pull an advantage. So he's maybe hoping that things sort of close up fast. But those lap cars are in the tail end, and they are currently going to turn. They've been led to turn 4 by 10th right now. So I'm not sure. Oh, there's 10th sliding.
Right.
10th off the sides of the circuit, recovers it, and will come out side by side with HP Cook, but hangs on to P10. I'm not sure if P2 needs to give that one back. I don't think he will. I think because made a mistake. But a rare one from 10th there.
Interesting.
Curtis on medium tyres. Same thing with Webbs. Both cars are aren't on the preferred softest tyre here.
Were the medium is the best shout to go on?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's 2 short runs to the end.
I don't know. There is one driver who did not pit on that safety car.
And that would be?
DJ. For some strange reason.
Well, DJ there in the 18th spot, and sorry, in the 16th spot, nothing to lose at this point. He is still on lap 62 of his race at this point, where everyone else is on lap 64, which is the lap where I thought things would draw to a close, and no word from race control just yet.
Now we're going to be waiting a while for this site.
I mean, they've crossed the line for sector 2, and they're not pulling it in just yet. So
Being a lap, at least.
We'll be waiting until those guys close in, and that's not what Grumio wants to see, because I doubt he can gain 6 seconds in sort of 4 laps. That's beyond the pale. So it's confirmed that we are actually going to be going around until these guys catch back up. But in the meantime, it's down to tyre temperatures, and just everyone sort of keeping to themselves. This is going to be a wild end to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Or it might be a wild end. I'm hoping it is. I do love a good last sort of safety car restart.
Yeah, same here. Always provide entertainment.
And the question is, who comes out on top now? I mean, let's not forget though. I mean, Che is there looking to win the race, but Dan is there in 3rd place. Of course, he fell away a fair bit from those guys, and he is arguably 2nd best place to win this thing, purely because he has no penalties. And AT may take advantage too of both Pope and Imri, and perhaps even Grumio. TJ, same thing. Curtis also about. These guys got shouts some good points now. Red Bull have got a chance to make some huge gains on Saba in the race at that 4th spot.
Yes, unless there is indeed absolute chaos involving the 2 Red Bulls.
You never know. I can see
It's
now.
Formula 1, anything can happen.
It usually does.
Indeed.
PJ is now bringing the lapped cars back around to the tail end of the train, so I should think we'll have a restart this time.
4 laps sprint.
5 laps.
So, yeah, my brain switched off for this evening.
It's been it's been a long race. We've been going for 2 hours. I do not blame you. You're okay.
It probably doesn't know the fact on Saturday I turned up for an event and that went on until about 12:30 at night.
Ben's running on very little sleep here. So safety car's about to come in this lap. Ben, you're going to need all your energy for this one. Right,
I'm on fumes here.
ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Keep your eyes firmly glued on that television set of yours as Che will bring the field around. This could be a generational final 5 laps of the Hungarian Grand Prix as they fight for victory. Will Grumio be denied? Will Che get his 2nd win of the season? He took pole. Can he go pole to the win in the next 5 laps? Can Dan deny him? Will Grumio try and pull 6 seconds like the master that he is, the reigning 10-time champion of the series? Here comes Che on the last corner through turn 14. Not going just yet. Waiting for that restart. And there he goes. Back to racing, 5 laps to go. And Dan's going for it. Che covering off Dan towards turn 1. Dan trying to go for it. Side by side, Grumio, Che into 1. Close to contact. Dan trying the inside on corner exit. 3 wide briefly for the race lead there. Leaving the first corner. Che and Grumio side by side. Che finds the inside and holds on to it. Grumio the long way around here and won't get the better drive off. Che around the outside takes the lead. Close to contact. Don't do it. Everyone's safe. And Dan trying towards turn 4.
Someone's happened further behind involving Wordsey in a bit of a fight with JB. Around the outside goes Wordsey. He keeps the limits but ends up having to slot just behind the RB.
JB there up into 13th place now. Pope making the pass on Imri. Those guys both have penalties, so likely falling in the order. Pope has got a drive-through to serve. He'll likely serve that this lap as they come through the 2nd sector here. Grumio may drop a large number of points in this race. This may be his first visit off the podium all season after a first half of sheer dominance. Perhaps has shown that perhaps he is not... anyone can be beaten. He's proved that many times in the past by this driver here, Che, who leads the way now and has almost pulled a complete second to Grumio here in the closing laps. 4 more laps to go. And it's looking like this is Che's day, unless someone behind him can stop him.
Yep, as indeed Pope does serve a drive-through. That will relegate him to the back of the pack.
Tough end today for Pope. He's had such a consistent run tonight, and it's tough for him to be falling that far down the field at the very end of the race here. But I'm sure he'll be pleased with his efforts. But in the end, deluded by the Delta. But up front though, things broken up a little bit more here. And if anything, Dan's putting Grumio under more pressure than Grumio is on Che as they leave turn 3 up towards 4 again. Che is in control.
Indeed he is. As Grumio may have just exceeded track limits again, Grumio's got to be careful not to get another 3-second time penalty.
Because that might relegate him out the points completely here. We're being completely truthful in these closing laps. Che, almost a second clear. He is a second clear now. And Dan, we put him under some serious pressure here. Doesn't even need to go for that spot. He knows he's good for second if he can just bring this thing home. Imri's 1.3 in front of AT, but he's likely to fill out the points completely too, unless he gets a wiggle on in his last few laps. And there's a car slow. That's Pope slow. I think a spin there at exit turn 5 was recovered the car. He's all okay. Kind of making a pass on PJ. 8th place for the RB. DJ, another penalty for him. DJ running still dead last right now. Che with just 3 more laps, 1.1 seconds clear. And Dan now may go for it on Grumio. Yes, there he is. And the champion falling down the order here.
Fight it.
Too easy.
Far too easy.
Into turn 180.
And the other side, TJ. Oh, TJ with the switchback.
Oh, he's gone for it there.
Oh,
came close.
took quite below. Wouldn't that been a great battle?
Oh, I mean, there's still quite a big gaggle of cars going at it from the back.
Oh.
Pope retiring there. Tough break for Pope. Obviously, just called it quits after the frustrating end to his race. Alvar and Webbsy side by side through turn 3. And Webbsy gets out in front.
Real. Yeah.
Webbsy should take points from this race still, despite falling to the back on the restart. JB around the outside, going at it on Alvar as well. Good move there from the RB driver. Put him into P12. Cool as you like from JB.
Nice one. I didn't actually say it because I was too busy focusing on Dan. He was got past Grumio.
And Dan is actually closing on Che here, so we could actually get a fantastic 2-car scrap for this race win. Dan has been the sort of second place man in terms of these 100% races. He's won a fair share of his own ones. Imri, another penalty. That's going to throw him down the order big time.
You could have really done without that, mate.
I mean, he made a shout to try and get himself in front of a number of cars towards the end of the race, but it's 2 seconds back to AT, but it's not going to be 4 seconds to the cars in the points. So it's looking like it's going to be Dan versus Che to settle it here at the Hungary Ring with 2 laps to go. Ben, who's your money on?
Che.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to go other way, put it on Dan. As AT and TJ again fighting out turn 1 down towards 2. There was contact between the pair of them. Nothing too major. But AT just got the inside of the contact again.
More contact.
Banging tyres. Both cars look safe. And pulling away here out of 3 is TJ back in front. 18 quite an unpleasant sandwich there. As Curtis now tries the outside towards turn 4. It's close. Oh, Curtis comes off worse. No damage done, but he's there in P7, losing momentum. And as a result, falling back here for back in P7. Up front though, Che building a lead of about 6.5 tenths to Dan. Both cars with a decent amount of battery. Che's got more of it, to be honest. But it's going to take a lot more than that from Dan. Because I mean, the DRS zone comes at the very start of the lap. And Che can defend from there. I dare say he's got a good chance to hold this one out. Dan is in control of his own destiny. If he can try and get around Che on this final lap. Che into turn number 14 to begin the bell lap here in Hungary. 1 more lap to go. And Grumio behind him in third. A long way back here. Dan is closing, but not closing fast enough here. He needs a bit more time. He needs another DRS zone to help him. He's got to take 2 swings big on this last lap to try and win this race from here.
Yep, indeed it will.
Is it worth a run perhaps up towards turn 4? Curtis now passing AT. Both Red Bulls now are around and looking perhaps at podium finish for TJ in this race. If he can keep himself as close to Grumio as possible. You never know. You have to keep an eye on the results when they cross the line. Che is still there, about 4 tenths in front of Dan, who's going to need something special to overhaul his former teammate from here. But it may be the case just following Che home now.
It may well be.
Slightly wide there at turn
7.
7.
I'm full of words here.
It's been a long one, hasn't it? We're almost there.
Yeah.
Well, Che will likely be thinking the same thing. He's got about only a second to go. And Dan has been chasing his teammate the entirety of the way here. He's been fantastic in these 100% races. Grumio has been truly upended today by 2 drivers who have proved themselves to be on their day at his level. Che into the last 2 corners here. 2 more to go, and now 1 more from home. He's been dominant in this Grand Prix. It's been his day, and Che rounds the last corner to take his 2nd win of the RDL Season 20. Last corner, checkered flag in the wind, and Che will win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Down to the line in 2nd. Grumio will finish in 3rd place and will narrowly beat out TJ at the end, I dare say here. That's when he comes to the line. Can TJ get on the podium? He can get on the podium.
What a drive on the Red Bull.
TJ takes 3rd place, Grumio 4th, Curtis 5th, AT 10th, HB Cook, Webbsy and Alva are top 10. Imri in the end finishes in P11. PJ, JB, Ethan, Cottney and DJ towards the line. But Che wins the race there, fully deserved. And his 2nd win of the season. Only the 2nd driver in this campaign to take more than 1 victory. He comes out over over Dan and Imri in that sense. But what a race that was. Absolutely
Wow.
fantastic stuff.
It was last 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant.
No.
But Che, your winner. Grumio beaten. And not on the podium. TJ will grab his first podium of the season. Fantastic to see. And another team with a rostrum finish this season is Red Bull, probably inch close to Sauber. But actually, I say inch close to be a big time game with neither one of them scoring points in the end of memory serves. Your final results there. Sorry, HB Cook scores 4 points for the team, but it's a big 25 points for Red Bull and a big 25 for Che, who wins the race from Dan in second, TJ third, Grumio, Curtis, AT, 10th Cannon, HB Cook, Websy and Alva, your top 10. Imri 11th, PJ 12th, JB, Ethan, Cotney and DJ bring up your order. Pope classified in the end as you're retired with a few laps to go. And Ericsson, Huff and Obsessed go down as your DNFs from this Grand Prix. Ben, what a race that was. That was a long one. We made it. And that late safety car made it all worth it.
Yep, indeed it is. That is why you don't leave until the checker flag.
That's the thing. That's the thing with live entertainment, with live sports, with live esports. You never leave before the end because anything could happen. And here in Hungary, it did tonight. Well, post interview is about to get underway. Hopefully get some of these guys in to have a chat about just how exhausting that race was, to put it mildly. Great fun was had, I think, by everyone in this booth. Ben, did you enjoy that?
Yes.
I mean, it was exhausting. This one had been one of the longer RDL streams. One of the few that sort of exceeded 2 hours in that sense by the time the race is even over. But yeah, just enjoyable from start to finish. I had a great time. I hope you guys watching it did too. And we'll see if anyone does join us in the commentary box. We'll give it a few minutes, and then from there, if no one joins, then we'll call it a night. Because I am exhausted.
I am as well.
Well, that's the first time in quite a while that Grumio has been truly beaten in that sense. I had to actually have a look at the results from the campaign so far and see if he actually finished the race off of the podium just yet. Let me have a look here. Nope. In fact, this is Grumio's worst finish the entirety of the season. There, 4th place, and yeah, I mean he's only finished first and second in these first 12 races. 9 of them have been race wins. He's finished second 3 times, 1 to Imri, 1 to Che, and 1 to Dan. And now he's finished 4th to Dan, Che, and TJ.
Yep.
So there you go. There you have it in that sense.
Well, humans do exist after all.
He can be beaten. That's what has been proven.
He's not a robot. He's not perfection.
Well, I mean, we'll see how he responds in next week's race, which will be the... Oh, I've forgotten. Next week's race, Ben.
Zandvoort? Please
Zandvoort,
tell
the
me
bull ring,
Zandvoort.
as it's often referred to as the gladiator, the Colosseum in that sense. Yeah, I've got 10th joining us now. 10th, welcome into the stream. And it is 7th place for you at the flag. Points scored again, but that was a long one, wasn't it?
It was a bit. Yeah, I was feeling the length of it by around lap 30, lap 35, to be honest, around where the normal race would have ended. So, definitely could feel it was a 100% race.
Obviously, I was fighting with the same sort of drivers majority of the Grand Prix, the 2 Red Bulls, Websy and Asaba. Was that an enjoyable fight across the Grand Prix?
Sort of. I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't really able to do more, to be honest. I had a really bad start, and that kind of pushed me down the order, and it is impossible to overtake here. So it was kind of a bummer, really. I think if I'd pitted a bit later, maybe I could have brought the fight a bit more to Curtis, but to be in the points at all, having been like 14th, I think, at one point, I'm not too disappointed.
Well, these races are long, so there's plenty of opportunities to move forward. Obviously, that late safety car jumped you up a place or two. Was there anything more you felt you could have done at the end?
Nah, not really. I was kind of just sitting back and waiting to pick up the scraps from the 3 ahead of me, who I realised before the race are kind of my main championship rivals now. So I was hoping one of them would have some sort of accident, but it didn't really come to be. But to be behind them anyway is not so bad. It means I didn't lose points that I otherwise would have lost. I think I've lost quite a bit on TJ now, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll get him back. Who knows?
We'll also look into that for next week. Of course, next week's race being at Zandvoort. You may have heard me and Ben referring to it as the Bull Ring, the Colosseum, the place where anything could happen in terms of carnage. Is the plan to get through that one, get through that one unscathed, or?
Well, that's the plan. I don't think anyone goes into a race with plans of getting damage. Maybe besides a driver or two who probably isn't in the league anymore, because that is not a good mindset to have. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that race. I think I was 5th last season, which was kind of the highlight of my terrible comeback season. So hopefully now that I'm a bit faster, maybe I can do a bit better. I think it all depends on what the drivers around me are doing, though. I don't see Zandvoort as a particularly strong track. That being said, I think any track where the grass is so close and where qualifying matters so much, I think is not necessarily one of my strongest tracks or one of the tracks I look forward to, but I don't know. I kind of just turn up on the week and see how I do. So we're going to do that again.
Sounds a lot like my approach to commentary. Well, good stuff on terms of the points finished at the end of the race. We'll come now to the driver who finished just a second behind you. HB Cook finishes in 8th place for Kick Sauber. Actually, the higher finishing Sauber of the two this week. HB Cook.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, spent the race sort of in and around the points. Was that last safety car godsend?
Yes, that to put it lightly, yes. I talked to him before the race, and he said a one-stop possible. And after the awful quality, I think one of the worst I've ever had in this lead, I thought, you know what, why not? Let's go for the one-stop. Stuck behind, I think it was JB and an Aston for a while, which helped me save tyres. And then, yeah, tyres would go in on hards. I had cars closing up behind me, so the safe car kind of really helped me when I needed it.
Fair enough. I mean, was there more you thought you could have done this race today, or is this sort of all you could give in that sense?
I think there was definitely more in quali. I think quali was obviously when you qualify bad, especially at a track like Hungary, you are really like on the back foot. I think if I were close towards the mid part, like higher up, then maybe there might have been a chance for higher points. But you don't know. It's a lot of if, buts, and maybes, but you sort of deal with it here and now. And I think with how I managed to go from 16th to, I think, 8th, you said, I didn't see after points. I'll happily take that. If you told me I'd get 8th at that race, I'd snap your hand off for it.
Well, it's your second point scorer in 3 races. So is this, obviously, we said last week in terms of having a better second half. Is this the start of that, do you think?
Fully? Yeah, last week, I think Belgium was obviously, it didn't really play in my favour. I think a few things went wrong on that one, but hopefully this is the start. The pace seems to have improved a tiny bit, not by much, but especially in the race, especially with tyre saving. So yeah, hopefully just look at the next few races and just take each race as one and just keep going.
We'll keep an eye on what you're doing with great interest, mate. So yeah, good stuff. Obviously getting points at the end of the Grand Prix. And I'll come now to JB, who came home in the end in P13. JB, I did want to ask, what happened in qualifying? Because I mean, it was a sort of struggle to get a lap in until the very end.
Yeah, just kept messing the lap up. Really, it was tough. I think the first one I spun and crashed. The second one it was going well, and then I cut the fast left-hander at the end of sector 1, and then the final lap was decent. And I think it was 13th. So yeah, it was a pretty chaotic one. I'm glad I didn't start any further back. I think there was a bit of chaos at the start. I think Courtney got damage, so yeah, got away with that one.
Obviously, you spent sort of the first part of the Grand Prix in that quite long DRS train, just sort of in and around outside of the points. I mean, how was that? Did you have to keep your wits about you a lot more, or?
Yeah, it's tough because everyone's so close. I felt like I was probably a little bit slower than some of the guys around me, but I qualified ahead of them. So unlike the last few weeks where I've maybe dropped back a bit at the start because I haven't had the position, and this is obviously it's like Monaco without the walls in a way, with the struggle to overtake. But once I got off the mediums, which I think were a pretty shocking tyre, I was actually quite quick. So there's a lot to take away in terms of positives. So yeah, it was a good battle though, and even though at the moment I'm not in the points, I think I'm 12th. I've got 3 seconds to be removed, but yeah, it was still a really good, enjoyable race, especially with the strategy.
I did want to ask about the late safety car sort of reaction when that came out. Was there disappointment there? Because obviously you have penalties and that sort of condenses everyone together again.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that. To be honest, I was pretty indifferent about it because I had the freshest tyres of the group I was in. I was at the back, and I just got up to PJ. And to be honest, I don't think I would have got past him anyway. But we were catching Cook and I think it was Ethan. So yeah, I didn't mind too much. Because I knew if I didn't get another warning, I'd get me one of my 3 seconds removed. So, and it means that if anyone does get penalties for other incidents, that I'm likely to gain through that. So, yeah, it wasn't too bothered. I'm sure there were people, especially towards the front, who were a bit more disappointed. But yeah, it was a good race, and it was a nice little battle at the end that everyone could have.
And looking ahead to next week, so sort of a two-part question here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Zandvoort is one of the tracks you've won at, isn't it? That's the first part of the question.
Yes, yeah, one of the two races. But I think it was on penalties or something. It was, I think, across the line third or something. It is a good track for me because I'm quite good on the higher downforce tracks compared with like last week Belgium. Was a bit more tough, so yeah, looking forward to it.
And I'll ask you, as I'm pretty sure I ask you every season when I'm reminded that you've won this circuit before. With the perfect storm and the stars aligning, could we see a JB victory? I've got to ask, please.
Well, I think you need like the 14 people who are quicker than me to have a terrible race. So maybe a few seasons ago, you could ask me that, and I might say yes, but no, it's been a very tough season for me. I've only scored 9 points, so even though I'm in that midfield, it's not really gone my way. So unlikely, but you never know. And I do seem to spring the occasional podium. So yeah, watch this space maybe.
We shall be watching and praying with open hearts. Yeah, obviously, good job to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. These 100% races are always tough. And we'll come now last forward to us. Our runner-up, Dan, comes home second today by half a second to Che. I mean, Dan, strong race. Do you feel like you could have won it at the end there if there was one more lap?
No, Che was too strong. He had everything under control today. He got pole, he got the fastest lap. Today was his day. And yeah, obviously, old teammate. He's trying to push for me in the standings, and he's shown why he can do it. Yeah, just a really, really strong race for him. I don't really think I just made too many mistakes today to really have a shot at the win.
I did want to talk about obviously that spin you made at turn 5 in sort of between lap 50 and 60. What happened there?
I just got on the grass on exit. Came across the track from right to left, and then just touched the grass under braking, and it sent me for a spin. Lost me 7 seconds. So yeah, a little bit annoying, but yeah, we fluked our way back to P2 because of the safety car. So I'll take it.
Although I must say, I doubt you're too dissatisfied with the performance, given that I've already seen you change your status to faster than Grimio at Hungary. Is there any thinking behind that at all?
Yeah, he said he didn't have the pace today for me and Che calling us sweats, so I said I'm going to wear it with a badge of honour, and that's my badge of honour.
Fair enough. I will not. I will not contend with you on that. And looking ahead to next week's race in Zandvoort, what's the outlook there?
I hope to break this Zandvoort curse, because I think for the past few seasons I've run really well, but I've just either made mistakes. I think last season I got penalties, and then season 18 I was running quite well as well, but got a puncture with like 2 laps to go that put me out the points. So yeah, I usually run well here, but yeah, I hope that I can just make the most of it and break this curse that I've been given the last couple of seasons.
P15 and P12 have been your finishes in the last 2 seasons. So I think if we outdo that, it should be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, fair play on the podium finish. Commiserations on perhaps on losing out the end there, but obviously I think Che was obviously the strongest throughout the race. And that'll do us then in terms of coverage for tonight's race in the Racers Driving League here in Hungary. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Congratulations again to Che on the race week team. Congratulations to all of our podium finishers, and to everyone who finished the race. These 100% races are tough on everyone, including Ben and myself in the comments box. Ben, any final words before we sign off?
No, other than thanks for having me in the commentary box once again, Zach, and thanks for everybody competing in the race.
Thank you indeed. Next race will take place at Zandvoort on the 2nd of March. Same time, same place on the Zach RC channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future audio content. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.